Pels. 88-86 is your score. And we'll just pick up the action right away here and say hello at our next break as Jrue Holiday misses the mid-ranger over Pascal Siakam. Raptors have been switching with this group with Ibaka at center. It's been pretty effective so far. Now Siakam has been devastating in the post tonight. Goes at Jrue Holiday, throws it up, missed it, but right back in the offensive glass, and he's going to go to the foul line. They have killed them so far on the offensive glass.
Absolutely have. Before those rebounds, I'm seeing a 33% offensive rebound rate for the Toronto Raptors. Just absolutely impressive there. And, I mean, it makes sense that the Pelicans would get beasted on the glass. They've been going really small, especially with the second unit, with Kenrich Williams being their backup power forward.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they don't really have a guy who's the size of a normal 3 out there with these groups either. Ingram starting at the 4, Jrue Holiday effectively the 3, and it's really the same way it's been a lot of the way for these Pels in the last 2 years, where they just haven't had the size. And Toronto's athleticism, and Anunoby, Siakam, they've gone after Redick and pick and roll and in the post, and it's been pretty good. Siakam hasn't shot it well from the field, but he's gotten a lot of his own rebounds, gotten to the foul line. So a 3-point Toronto lead. Jrue Holiday has to tell Melly to go screen away for Frank Jackson, who's in it. He gets right into the lane. Miscommunication between Powell and Ibaka, and the foul is committed as Jackson will go to the line. 31st overall pick back in the 2017 draft.
And something I've liked from Alvin Gentry in this early going is trying a lot of guys out. I mean, they would have been trying to figure out the rotation even if Zion Williamson had been available, but giving Frank Jackson and Nikhil and Etuan Moore and Josh Hart minutes at the backup spots, I think that makes complete sense. Now, I wonder if he's going to move towards staggering Jrue Holiday and Lonzo Ball a little bit because those second units need more ball handling in the worst way. But, you know, for the time being, I think that it's good to experiment a little bit.
Yeah, Nikhil Alexander-Walker has showed some flashes but hasn't been efficient tonight. But he's been out there in units where he's really the only guy who can do anything. And Ball, Holiday, Ingram are their 3 best on-ball creators, you might say. Maybe you could put Nikhil ahead of Ball as a pick-and-roll guy, but Nikhil needs some help on these second units, and Holiday is in with them now. Here's the swing and the pass behind Siakam. That should have been a dunk right there. Ibaka just missed him on the lob, threw it behind him on the cut instead.
There have been some moments when Ibaka's looked more confident with the ball in his hands. That was not one of them.
Hand off to Hart off the Melly screen. They late switch it. Melly with the fake. He's 4 of 4 from 3. Pulls up from 2-point range. And Nicolo Melli, the 28-year-old, making his NBA debut, has been shooting the lights out tonight.
And we've talked at length about how the Pelicans need floor spacing from a lot of different guys. Melly providing it early on.
Illegal screen from Ibaka goes uncalled. Hart rebounding. Pels' fast break was devastating early. They haven't gotten as much here, but they surged back into a lead. Their 3-point shooting has kept them in. Here's the step back from Holiday off the switch against Ibaka. And now New Orleans starting to get a little bit more going here against that switching Toronto defense.
And let's keep an eye on, it looks like Fred VanVleet is going to come back into this game. He tweaked his ankle, kind of looked like falling into the cameras, and he's been huge for them so far.
Here's Siakam spinning his way against Kenrich Williams again. They just have not had an answer physically for Siakam on some of those matchups. Toronto late getting matched up. Here's the drive by Hart. Pulls up over Terrence Davis, a little bit short. Williams, who's an excellent rebounder, couldn't get that one. And now Siakam looking to push again. This is where he's been so effective. And Holiday with the stop.
That was a clean block.
Yeah, I thought Holiday got it, the forearm into him. That left forearm looked to be a foul to me, but he was right there and was able to block it when no foul was called.
Maybe he gets the small man sympathy there, trying to check somebody who's like 8 inches taller than he is.
Yeah. Terrence Davis off the Ibaka screen. They get it into him. Now it's Powell looking weak side for Lowry, and Josh Hart's going to commit the foul. And Hart saying, hey, Serge Ibaka stepped out on me, and he fouled me. But Ibaka has been involved in a number of little off-ball tete-a-tete. But big problem for New Orleans has been keeping the Raptors off the foul line, and the bonus looming here for the Raptors in this fourth quarter as well.
Absolutely.
Lowry, Nicola Melli steps out. Lowry goes around him, misses the three-pointer though. Holiday looking to push in transition. Melly stepping back. Ibaka is there. He learned his lesson on Melly. Now Frank Jackson, who's playing over Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who had a rough go of it in the third. Here's Josh Hart. His three-pointer over. Terrence Davis is good. And Davis just too late getting out on Hart. He had no reason not to be out on Hart in the strong side corner.
And I talked about how the Pelicans have played a lot of guys. Toronto has not. Only 8 so far in this game.
Yeah, and notable as he hits the three, Terrence Davis played one game for the Rockets Summer League, but was not under contract for them. He got scooped up immediately with 2 guaranteed years for Toronto, and now a push-off by Frank Jackson. Yeah, the shove with the left arm. That is a point of education this year. I looked at the video beforehand from Monty McCutcheon. It didn't go far enough. Longtime viewers will remember that we complain all the time about those push-offs, but anything where you're extending at the elbow is going to be a point of education this year. Here's Williams looking to force Siakam to his right. Melly in help position. They've got Davis on the weak side. Siakam missed him. He's still there. Finally, they get it to him, but good rotation for Melly. Davis shoots it anyway, and wow, lucky to get that rebound as Siakam had position. Now the 4-on-3 for the Pels. Down the middle, it's Holiday. Williams, quick release, and he's going to get 3 foul shots here.
And that's the modern NBA. Drew Holiday pushes in, but Williams is out there on the side, kicks out his legs a little bit, and got run into. I think he would have gotten run into by Siakam even if he hadn't kicked him, but I want to see a replay if they show a different angle.
I have liked the aggressiveness we've seen from 3 from the Pels, Williams and Brandon Ingram in particular.
Oh, that's just I think that's just
Did he get him up top there?
Yeah, I'd have
Nick
to.
Nurse has used his challenge already.
That looks like high five contact to me.
But yeah, and so this is something we haven't talked about much on Dunked On of when to use your challenge. To me, a 3-shot foul by your team is the number one time to use your challenge.
Yeah, other than if there's an obviously bad call against a key player that puts him in foul trouble. But that's rare enough that.
Now, another thing to keep in mind is on a shooting foul like that, the ball would be considered loose. And if they just said, hey, it's no foul, no offensive foul, it's just a shot, because the ball is in the air, that's considered a loose ball. So your remedy there is it gets jumped up at center court between any 2 players who are on the floor at the time of the challenge. Jahlil Okafor getting his first action here in the second half as they want to get a little more size on the floor. Davis off the screen, engages Okafor, now swings it to Powell as Holiday missed him. I'm sorry, that was Powell. Norman Powell. Nice pass there from Davis.
Yeah, Holiday kind of went out to protect Siakam in the corner and gave up the 3 to Powell.
Here's Holiday, gets his man on his back, loops a pass. That was not a good pass. Jackson will take the 3 anyway on the replace. Williams flies in for the rebound. Again, couldn't get it though.
And something I like there, Marc Gasol is actually one of the best guys that's in the league. If you can't get the offensive rebound, at least knock it out of bounds so that the other team can't run with it.
So Fred VanVleet does not look to be moving well here. Hopefully he can get warmed up. But, hey, at least we got a really good view of him running into the cameraman and spraining his ankle.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet, 26 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 5 assists, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, and he was cooking against Melly in particular in that third quarter off some of the switch action. Here's Ibaka, pick and pop over Okafor. Nice box out there by Williams on Siakam to enable the rebound. Jackson, they get it into the post to Okafor. This is his first time to go to work. They've got action off the ball. Double team comes. Williams on the drive, swing it. Open is Jackson in the right corner, way off. Good closeout from VanVleet, but the Pels getting a rare offensive rebound of their own. Swing it to Josh Hart. His 3 is off. Good possession, though, there from the Pels. They got a couple of open looks from 3 with the ball movement. Powell. Oh, what a shark move by Holiday. He almost stole it, but Powell somehow maintained possession. Here's a 3 in the corner from Siakam, his first of the game. What a sequence that was, as it looked like Holiday was going to just take that away. Powell somehow regained control and got Siakam for the 3. Hart off the handoff. He's into the lane. Nice tip there. Was that Lowry who kept that alive, but it goes back to the Pels?
That was Okafor who tipped it out.
8 on the shot clock, and wide open is Holiday. Ibaka, looking exhausted, did not get out on the floor. And Williams, again, that's the 3rd time he's got a hand on an offensive rebound, just hasn't been able to corral it yet. You see his rebounding instincts, though. That's probably his best skill. So we'll get our first break here. 5 minutes of frenetic action, but no less frenetic than us answering these questions shall be starting right now. What we got?
Somebody asked, can we make the game more visible? No, we can't. Copyright issues. If somebody wants to give us enough money to pay for it, to pay for league rights, we will.
You mentioned a point of education. Do you know what the others are? Also, what happened to point of emphasis? It's a kind of friendlier NBA with Monty McCutcheon in charge. In reality, there's absolutely no difference whatsoever. The others are listed in a video. If you Google it, you can find it. It's available on NBA.com. I actually tweeted it out at the end of September when I looked at it. So it's worth watching for sure. Better to subscribe on Twitch or increase the Patreon contribution? Probably the latter, I would say. That's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, and you get something more for it. You know, like depending on what we're defining as increasing the Patreon contribution. If you're not getting the benefits of the exclusive podcast, we're actually going to have a subscriber mailbag come out later this week. Patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. That's a great thing to do, and you get something for it. I mean, and we appreciate it either way.
What do you guys think about Ingram tonight?
The biggest positive has been his lack of hesitation on the corner three. That is something that I've been critical of Ingram in the past. The biggest negative is that he still has that instinct of, a long two is still a decent shot. Like he had those post-ups on Van Vliet where he settled for a 16-footer. Didn't like that at a couple of pull-ups. So I would say more positive for me than last year, but still some ground to gain.
Yeah, I think he's moved the ball better. He hasn't been holding it as much as he was in the preseason. He's taken a couple of bad mid-rangers. I haven't liked him isolating in the post. He hasn't done a great job on Siakam, although probably better than just about anyone else. I'm interested to see what he looks like along with Lonzo at the end here. Again, they have nobody else who's three-man size other than him on this whole team right now.
I'm going to answer this question despite you and I not talking about it yet. How many games until the first 15 and 60? Usually what we've done is after the second week of action, we feel like we've seen enough. Maybe it'll be a week later than that, but usually the second week.
I mean, we'll talk about it.
Because the first weekend, I just won't have seen enough teams yet. So
yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think maybe that Sunday night we'll just do a here's our impression so far of the teams that we have.
Yeah, kind of like the first weekend of the NBA playoffs, like that sort of thing.
Was Melly expected to look this good in real action? I thought he had a nice preseason. He's not athletic by any means. I mean, I think playing him as a small ball center without Zion is pretty tough defensively. But yeah, he had a good shooting record in Europe. So I think he's hit shots. He knows how to play. He could put the ball on the floor a little bit more to drive and dish. But yeah, I thought he could contribute as kind of a backup power forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back. Siakam looking to hand off. Nice play by Hart to break up the dribble handoff. And finally, the Raptors recover. 14 on the clock. Backdoor to Powell off the Gasol pass. Here's the Siakam above the break three. And that's the one that he struggled with so badly a season ago. He's been more aggressive shooting it out there in this game. 4-point Toronto lead. Here's the ATO for the Pels. And looks like we're going to have a stoppage here. Siakam with the reach in.
And something to keep an eye on for when you watch teams that you take advantage and press it when you get the team in rotation. The Raptors kept on moving the ball quickly, and so the Pelicans were never able to get back in spots.
Where's Derek Favors, Danny? I wonder why they haven't gone back to him. I thought he struggled a little bit in the third, but he's a little better than Julio Okafor. Here's Frank Jackson on the drive, and he's going to get fouled. They'll count this as a goaltend, rather. 2-point game. Gasol screens for Powell. Now another screen. They force him towards the baseline. Okafor moving his feet pretty well to stay with it. They'll swing it around. Lowry past Okafor into the lane. Holiday stops him. Lowry irate at no foul call. Holiday looking to push it. Finds Ingram off the alley-oop. Beautiful pass. Ingram sprinted the lane hard. He beat Siakam, who just jogged back.
And Ingram got fouled by his own teammate and then fell into the cameras.
Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he
hit the back of his head
one
on
in the
camera,
head.
But I think he'll be okay.
Okafor thought the pass was to him. Now maybe they're going to say that Powell shoved Okafor into him, but I didn't see that happen. Holiday missing the technical Wow, we are really in the dark here on exactly
Yeah, they called it.
what
They called it
happened.
tech on Lowry.
Ah, yes.
Kyle Lowry for the first technical of the season. That would have been a pretty decent bet considering these two teams.
Tie game at 103. Pels missed a chance to take the lead. They've got Ingram on Siakam. Now they switch this. Swing it to Gasol. No advantage gain there. Another pick and roll. Okafor out on the floor. Powell tries to drive. Ingram lost Van Vliet, but nothing comes of it. Now Gasol's going to have to create in the post late clock. Going across the lane for the fader. Not there. Good defensive possession from Okafor, who looks much more mobile than he has in past years. Here's Ingram. Missed Okafor underneath. Quick give and go. Okafor into Gasol. Scores. Nice power from Jahlil Okafor, and he'll go to the foul line to give New Orleans a 3-point advantage potentially.
And I liked Brandon Ingram there. It's amazing how everybody still keeps biting on his pump fakes. But using that, getting a little bit of space, and then fumbled it a little bit, but got the ball to Okafor with a little bit of an advantage, like a semi-shoulder of advantage.
Yeah, and I think Okafor is strong enough as he flexes to show you that he believes that to be the case.
I also like how Mark... Oh, did they call the tech on Gasol? I thought Gasol was trying to not get the tech by kind of spinning the ball down, but no, he threw it down.
Well, and Gasol did commit the foul. I noted on Twitter earlier in the game that he gets away with a lot of these just chest bumps because he's got his arms up, but that time he had his arms forward. Okafor went through his arms, and that's why the foul was committed.
Josh Steinkopf said you'd think that Lowry would be more chill after finally winning championship. Good to see the fire still there. That fire will be there for Kyle Lowry forever. That's just, if you watch the way the guy goes for rebounds, that's who he is.
One of my favorite moments early when I was covering basketball, the 2014 Adidas Nations, Lowry as an Adidas endorser was there, and he was just like running in, like taking charges on these college kids. It was fantastic. Meanwhile, the offensive boards hurting the Pels again. Yeah, it didn't seem like Gasol did much there to warrant the technical. Here's Lowry off the double screen from Van Vliet. A little variation on a Spain action that time, but Siakam was not there for the pass. It went way over his head from Lowry. Hart, Okafor, hands off to Drew Holiday. Holiday into the lane, finding Okafor. Okafor could not get a clean hand on it. Usually has great hands, but that time he fumbled it, but it'll remain with New Orleans.
Something I want to mention quickly. We read comments on every outlet, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. But if you're looking for a functional pause button, go to YouTube. If you are basically, if we are ahead of you, use YouTube.
Yeah, that works best for if you're streaming. Okafor looking to screen for Ingram. Lowry keeps him away. Okafor going at Gasol. Ingram did not get to the corner in time to space it, but he does find Jackson for the open three, and he hits. New Orleans now leads by 6. Their three-point shooting has been the difference in this game to date.
17 of 38.
Here's Van Vliet off the screen from Gasol. Can't answer, but once again, Kyle Lowry that time mucking it up on the offensive glass.
And still about 1/3 of Toronto's misses have ended up back in their hands. So that's a 33% offensive rebound rate.
Lonzo Ball sitting on the benches. We've seen Alvin Gentry go with this smaller group. No Derek Favors either, as Okafor has played pretty well here. Now Siakam going at Okafor. Stopped! And what do they call here? Did they get him for a travel?
Off arm, I think. He used his left to clear a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
Jahlil
calling that a
Okafor looks as lean as I've ever seen him. And, I mean, we haven't seen a play yet where he's just been, the usual Jahlil Okafor, like, getting taken advantage of, not rotating.
Time for some of your questions. Wish you could pause your cable. Regrettably, you're ahead of the cast. I mean, depending on what kind of cable package you have, some of them you can. You can, DVR functionality.
Yeah, you might be able to just like, if you have cable, you can probably do like watch TNT, and that would probably put you behind us, and then you could pause the cast and join us.
Yeah. I can do this. I'll try to do this one quickly. Danny, what changes are going to be in your work for The Athletic this year? I tweeted about this a little bit. less Warriors, more National, so that can be big picture pieces or smaller things like this is or isn't working. I'm also going to do more kind of draft and scouting stuff. I'm thinking about doing some of the turning some of the research that we do for the pod into pieces. I also went to the Team USA minicamp, things like that. So yeah, it's going to be fun, and then a lot of collaborative stuff. I don't want to name names, but The Athletic has a really strong roster of people that I want to work with, and we've already talked. A lot of us have already talked about that.
Do you think Favors plays the forward all this season, or is he exclusively a 5? He is exclusively a 5.
I don't know who he'd even play. I guess next to Okafor, he'd be the 4.
Yeah, or I mean, if Jackson Hayes gets exhumed at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I wouldn't anticipate that. I mean, they don't have that many centers. I think he works better as a 5. I guess because if he plays with Melly is the 4. So yeah, go ahead.
Stick with Jackson, Okafor, Hart, or go back to Lonzo, Favors, Redick. My general belief is that unless there's a very specific matchup reason for it, go to your best players because they do it. Nate McMillan disagrees with me. It has worked at times for the Indiana Pacers over the last couple of years, but for me, especially because backups often get into their feel against the other team's backups, that's a little bit different here. But I don't think like Frank Jackson is the reason why this group has been playing well. He's helped. He hasn't hurt, but I'd still go to your best players.
Who gets sacrificed when the Pels rotation shrinks? TBD. I mean, if you were talking about when Zion comes back as well, I mean, they do want to play really fast, it seems like. And Redick and Favors, it seems like they don't think those guys can play that many minutes.
I mean, Frank Jackson seems like a pretty easy one there. Unless he outplays some of the other guys. Unfortunately, probably a little bit of Nikhil. My boy, Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I mean, he's a lot of our guys, so that I can't necessarily claim him. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot, and probably Ja a little bit too, just because if they'll play Zion at the 5 a little bit, and maybe give some of those minutes to Melly.
So, catch you up on a few stats here. Siakam, 29 points, 9 of 24 from the field, 6 offensive rebounds of the 16 that the Raptors have total. Van Vliet, 26 points, 10 of 15 from the field. For the Pels, Brandon Ingram, the leading scorer. They have had excellent distribution. Same group out there for the Pels. Gasol is out on Hart. They swing it. They got Okafor in the post. Double team comes hard from Anunoby. Okafor out of it. No advantage gained, but Hart has the drive on Gasol. Euro steps around, but Anunoby with the block. Now the Raps in transition. Pels, great job getting back, though, off that block shot, and Toronto will get into their ATO. Double screen for Van Vliet. And that's going to be a bodying foul on Frank Jackson. He fought, and Jackson is really disappointed. He fought extremely hard. He made it over 2 screens and just got the left hand on Fred Van Vliet.
And that last play when the Pelicans had the ball is a good example. You want to part of the benefit of drawing the center out is that the other team doesn't have as much rim protection, but their OG Anunoby stood tall, got the block, and that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and the dreaded bonus now for the Raptors. I'm surprised we haven't. I mean, they've been playing well as they built this lead, but I mean, Lonzo Ball looked pretty good to me. I don't know why he would be out right now. I mean, I think
it's all because of that one-footed 3.
Yeah, that was pretty atrocious. Maybe he does deserve to be on the bench. Okafor handing off to Holiday. Holiday beats 2 men. They swing it. Ingram cut in, and that time Ingram went for the cut instead of staying spaced out, and he brought himself right into Holiday and mucked up the spacing. Ingram's been a good job spacing most of the way, as here's Siakam going at Okafor, and that is going to lead to a 3-point play opportunity. I don't know if they want to have Okafor as the center on Siakam or if they got cross-matched in transition, but Okafor committing a clear foul here, got him in the air, and then worst of both worlds, the touch foul. If you get in the air like that, you need to just come down and clobber the guy at that point and just make sure he doesn't get the shot up, because you're going to commit the foul regardless.
Yeah, they're going to jump into you. That's a really good point. So the free throw disparity right now, 30 for the Toronto Raptors attempts and 18 attempts for the Pelicans, but only 24-16 in terms of makes because the Pelicans have made almost all theirs.
Jackson pick and roll with Okafor. Gasol trapping him against the sideline. They get off the ball, no advantage gained. Ingram takes the 3 over OG Anunoby. Did not have an amazing look, but you like to see the aggression from him out there, though, in the corner. Oh, nice slip from Siakam. Good help from Ingram, but Siakam with a beautiful finish. Anyway, that was nice recognition from Ingram. I think he's doing better as a help defender in preseason and this first game, but that time Siakam just scored over him anyway. Raps increasing the defensive pressure. Beautiful pass underneath, though, to Okafor, and he's going to go to the foul line. Okafor really seems to have revamped his shot form. Remember, he used to have a very long looping release, but it looks better now, and these are two huge free throws with 2:37 left.
And that's a great example of just make yourself available in the right spot on the floor, and good things can happen. It wasn't Okafor didn't necessarily have the cleanest path to the basket, but when you have guys there that are freaking out, oh crap, a guy has the ball right here, you can get fouled. And that is the looks like that's the fourth foul, unless I missed a graphic on Pascal Siakam. Other players with 4: Derek Favors, Brandon Ingram, and then Kenrich Williams has 5, but he's not on the floor.
Yeah, and I understand why J.J. Redick is out, because he really, really got taken advantage of defensively in that third quarter. But, I mean, Frank Jackson versus either Redick or Lonzo Ball, I know they made the comeback with this group. Now they've given up the lead with this group. Like, Frank Jackson, to me, does not have enough equity to be out there right now. Okafor ties the game with a 1 out of 2 performance from the foul line.
And it looked like somebody was going to the table for the Pels, but I didn't see who.
Looks like it's going to be Melly.
Interesting.
Maybe he's going to get Okafor. Nice defense there by the Pels. Josh Hart, good defense on Lowry. Now he gets into the lane. Looking for Gasol on the roll. Help is there. Late clock. Okafor getting out on Lowry, and the foul is committed. Okafor can't believe it. Lowry definitely kicked his legs forward on this one. I mean, this is another one. You would love to have your challenge in the bag here. Oh, yeah, that's... Ooh, I don't know how much contact there was there. I mean, I think it looked like his legs landed in between Okafor's legs. Very minimal contact, but, I mean, that could be the play that decides the game. And, like, again, I think you pretty much should save your challenges for, number one, just dead bang, 100% obvious fouls that you know you can get some points out of, or challenges on dubious 3-shot fouls, because this is going to be 3 points. Presumably they're reviewing here to see whether he took off or not from outside the 3-point line. He clearly did, but yeah, I mean, that is a very, very weak call. Oh yeah, I mean, that is... I'll put it this way: it's as close as you can get to not fouling and still foul, if it is anything. Now the internal review.
Silly for the Pels to not have the best players on the floor. I agree. I think that it's a mistake, and again, like the what you're looking for in those circumstances of why you would stick with your bench players is if there's something special they bring to the table that the other guys do not. But I think Favors is just a better player than Ja, and I think particularly Lonzo versus Frank Jackson.
Well, and in the first game of the season too. I mean, you know, I know they have this deep team. They played with the all bench unit, and they want to create a spirit of competition, but like Derek Favors makes $18 million and Jahlil Okafor makes the minimum for a reason. He's looked a lot better, I agree, but I think it's pretty tough there, especially once the momentum of that group was blunted. Wow, really? We're still on this? What are they reviewing?
That's an interesting point from Ben Taylor and Dave Dufour about they was talking about Siakam being a good penetrator. But to see, and this is something we've seen at various levels throughout the past, is can he keep up his level of defense if Siakam has to take on a larger offensive role? Because sometimes you can't burn that candle all the way at both ends.
What have you thought of Terrence Davis tonight?
It's been pretty good. I mean, one of the really basic tests I talk about this a lot with Summer League is, does a guy look like he belongs? And I haven't really noticed Davis that much in the negative.
Yeah, he's hit some shots. He hasn't gotten killed defensively.
Yeah, I think he's done fine.
I mean, he's not as good as like some of the other guys on this Pels team, but
yeah, I'd like that. And
so, can someone tell us what the hell they were reviewing, by the way, for this long?
Reviewing for a flagrant, the Zaza rule.
Oh my God.
Thank you to David Childs.
Yeah, there was. It's not close.
Would a DeRozan for Marc Gasol trade make sense for both sides? No, I don't think that makes the Raptors better, taking those possessions away and all of the challenges, plus the financial element that DeRozan has an extra year on his contract. I think it would make the Spurs better.
Ooh, Lowry, ball don't lie, misses the first one. It probably will lie on these next two, though.
One would think. Yeah.
Makes the second. So now it's Melly at the 5. This is an offensive possession. That's probably why we're going to see Redick here as well. He's like, yeah, I've kind of been on the bench a long time, Alvin. I have to really warm up here. Lowry hitting the second, or the third, I should say. And let's see what they've got cooked up here for this ATO. Melly screening away for Redick. Redick with the advantage. Nice help by Siakam off of Holiday. Holiday, oh, what a loping, beautiful drive from Drew Holiday. Just so under control, so strong on those Euro steps. He as an underrated, one of the best Euro steps in the NBA. Here's the screen for Siakam. No advantage gain there. Good job by Redick not letting him get in a position for the screen. Ingram didn't let him use it. Now they switch Redick onto Lowry. I think they should just get out of the way here. Let Lowry go at Redick. He pulls up from deep. Nice box out by Melly on Ibaka. New Orleans looking to take the lead with 1:35 left. Ingram there late matching up. Back to goal. Goes into Van Fleet. Three-pointer from Hart as Anunoby had to help. Huge play there.
And Brandon Ingram drives and is looking for the pass there. He doesn't settle for that free throw line jumper. Josh Hart wide open, 3-point lead.
Yeah, and I thought Anunoby maybe a little bit of an over-help.
Agreed.
That time. And if you're going to help, also you stay on the axis between your man and the ball. Brandon Ingram, though, great job of attacking. But what are the Raptors doing? They just weren't matched up in transition.
And to me, the OG help there, what you have to do as a defender is threat assessment. Okay, Brandon Ingram had other guys there. It wasn't like he was going to get an open layup. And so by digging in, that created the lane for Josh Hart to shoot that three. I think you have to sometimes be okay with settling for a clean look from mid-range if the opportunity is a talented three-point shooter getting an open three. Bulls question from Casey White. Is it a futile exercise to build around a core that includes Levine and Lowry Markkanen with their defensive issues? No. I mean, also, those guys aren't getting paid a ton of money right now, and neither one of them plays center, which is the most important defensive position. So if your goal is to win a championship, that might be difficult, but to make a playoff run, sure, you can do that. That's not a big deal.
I mean, that's ultimately the flaw in this Bulls rebuild is you don't really think there's that much upside with this group. Getting the number 7 pick a couple years in a row, or 3 years in a row, actually. Now, maybe Kobe White could really blow up, or Levine could really blow up, but futile exercise if you want to be the NBA champion, probably, because I don't know if those guys even have enough offensive upside. Okay, we're back here. 3-point game, 1:25 left. Handoff to Lowry. They swing it. Beautiful hammer play. Wide open three.
Redick just straight up lost
That was fantastic there. Yeah, Redick. No, that wasn't Redick's man. That was actually Drew Holiday. But a great screen from Gasol. They set up that hammer play beautifully, and that ties the game. Here's Ingram getting past Gasol. That's got to be a blocking foul underneath on Van Fleet. No call. Here's Melly on the drive. Van Fleet steps up to help. Redick eluding Siakam and hits. Beautiful job going to his right. Siakam let him get to that right hand where he's got a much more versatile jump shot. J.J. Redick was not able to get it done in this building a year ago as a member of the 76ers. Now giving New Orleans the 2-point lead.
And New Orleans has 2 timeouts left, so they can use that second one, interestingly.
They go after Redick. Redick takes the charge. That is certainly a ridiculous call. Siakam is under control there. Maybe he pushes off with the right hand. Didn't really see that, though. Yeah, that's a bullshit call.
I mean, and you don't have to call a foul at all there. Just let it go. Just let Redick fall over.
He's got his arm in. He doesn't push off at all. He's under control. He's in the process of stopping. I mean, that's one where you can just let it go. And the 6th foul on Siakam, that slipped past us.
Yeah, he picked up a fifth on that play when it just hadn't
Yeah.
updated.
So, but great job by the Pels and by Redick. They were killing them in the third quarter on that play. They've run that pick and roll twice with Anunoby and Siakam here down the stretch. Pels have stopped it both times.
And so now this is a pretty significant advantage for the Pelicans, a 2-point lead and the ball with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, so clearly they want to run the time down here, try to prevent Toronto from getting a 2-for-1. Melly, 15 on the clock. They should use it here. Nice move by Holiday into the lane. Quadruple teamed. Hart. Now he goes along the baseline. Gets it stolen from behind. Here the Raptors are in transition. Lowry going into the lane. Stopped from behind by Hart, but a foul is called. Kyle Lowry, a chance to tie it, and not good from the Pels. I mean, frankly, they should have just waited for like 15 seconds and gone there. I mean, it was just too important to run the time down there, because now the Raptors get the 2-for-1. And that's one of those plays where, yeah, you want to run your offense, but that's the danger of running your offense. That's why coaches a lot of times say, hey, we're just going to hold it in that situation.
So now Lowry has a free throw to make it a tie game with 29 seconds to go. That means the Raptors will definitely get a chance to tie or even take the lead.
2 ice free throws from Kyle Lowry, tie it, and we're going to get a timeout here. I think this is a good timeout for the Pels. They've got 2 left, number one, and when else are you going to use it? But also, you want to get something here where you're going to run the time down adequately and make sure that you can get a shot that's not going to put you in a bad position in terms of your defensive balance.
There's an interesting question here of how extreme you go offense, defense. As the Pelicans, the Raptors, since they have control over whether or not they use a timeout, it can be different. But if the Pelicans go hard on the offense-only end here, I would consider with the Raptors going no timeout, depending on if you need that time to advance the ball. You know, like if the timeout gets you where you need to be.
How many pounds have you lost on keto? Critical question here at the end of the game. About 15. Basically the 15 that I put on that 7-week road trip. So I'm not doing it anymore now. But I'm still enjoying my kettlebell kitchen nonetheless. Nice. But when I go out to eat, I'm at least like eating some carbs now. Did you guys not do predictions podcast this year with all 16 playoff teams picks? We did, and in fact, that will be part of tonight's Dunkdown. We already recorded that, and we're going to do a little bit on these 2 games as well. So that'll be tonight's Dunkdown. Probably come out around like 11 o'clock or so. Brendan Campbell Craven, not Craven, about asking us personal questions. But we'll have to get to that in a little bit.
And remember, we'll be going all the way through the competitive portion of Lakers-Clippers.
Holiday guarded by Anunoby up top, with Siakam having fouled out. Overtime would seem to favor the Pels for that reason. Gasol out on the floor. They are not taking their time again here. Holiday to Redick. He's got the matchup against Anunoby. Back screen for Redick off the ball. Now he comes to go get it. Holiday getting Anunoby in the air. Great defense, though, from Anunoby. Now this is a good timeout here. They didn't really have time to push it. We'll see whether the timeout came before he took that first dribble, in which case they wouldn't be able to advance the ball, but not really an indicator. Yeah, it looks like Nurse had the timeout before Powell decided to push it. So.
And also they didn't have as much of an advantage because the Pelicans did a good job of getting back.
Yeah, so worst of both worlds for the Pels on that offensive possession. They didn't run the time down all that much. It was, and they didn't really get a great look at it either. You'd think at a minimum, Danny, you could bring Lonzo Ball in here for defense. I know he's been cold for a while. Looks like they're going to stick with Melly for this defensive possession. I really don't understand that at all. I mean, maybe they're more of a believer in his ability to move his feet than I am.
I'm not sure if we have enough time to do this one, but quick top 3 and bottom 3 league pass teams for this season. Pelicans.
Well, with Zion.
Yeah, but they're gonna be fun without him. Let's see.
I mean, Warriors games are gonna be crazy.
High scoring.
Fun. I mean, Steph is gonna be going crazy in some of these. That's certainly worth considering. But
And
they don't really.
probably the Lakers. I mean, there's a lot to learn, and they'll be Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna be kind of more ground and pound than you might expect. Dallas could be really exciting.
Oh yeah,
as
Dallas
well.
is a good pick. Bottom Knicks and Hornets are definitely in there.
Yeah. Knicks, at least there are some people I'm interested in seeing how they develop.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Powell. This is going to be just Norm Powell going one-on-one here. Wow. He's going against Jackson. Pulls up from way out, and that's way off. Wow, that was very odd. Now, they don't have Siakam out there. Maybe the feeling is, hey, we got to run the time down. Van Vliet's a little hobbled. If we run a pick and roll, we're going to get double teamed. Powell is our best ISO guy. Maybe that's the thinking there. It's not as crazy as it would seem necessarily. Also interesting that Gentry went back to Frank Jackson, really believing in his on-ball defense. He did a pretty decent job.
And now something I'm going to be really interested in here is who does Alvin Gentry have on the floor to start this overtime? They've gone through some different options, and it also can be kind of a tabula rasa to say, okay, Derek Favors, you didn't play the end of the game, but I'm going to give you an opportunity now. I would play your best players, especially with Siakam unavailable. Somebody said the Cavs are going to be nigh unwatchable. I disagree. I think that the point guard experiment for them is going to be fascinating. And also, if Kevin Love can actually play, their offense will be more entertaining this year. They're probably still going to be real bad defensively. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I think the Cavs aren't bottom 3 for me. They're bottom 10, but they're not bottom 3. Bottom 3 in the actual league, but not league pass.
Yeah, I mean, if Darius Garland is not really exciting to watch, then they probably move into the bottom 1. I mean, at least the Hornets have Washington and Bridges, and Rozier had some okay moments in the preseason. Memphis is going to be a low-key one that I'm really looking forward to. You guys know how much I'm excited about Ja. Who do you favor in overtime? Help me with my prop.
Pelicans, because Siakam's out. Normally I would lean towards the home team, but I mean, Siakam's been their best player in this game. Siakam almost went 30 and 20 in this game. He finished with 34 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, including those 6 big offensive rebounds you talked about early on in this broadcast.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Danny. I don't think Nicola Melli, Josh Hart, Frank Jackson, maybe bring in Jackson Hayes for a few minutes. I don't know if those guys can beat the Raptors even without Siakam. All right, we're going to go to the jump ball here. Interested to see, are they going to stick with Melli at center now? I mean, Melli and Redick.
And Lonzo's in.
Wow. Okay.
So they did the approach of, yeah, you've been sitting, but you're going to bring it back in, but not with Favors. They did it with Lonzo Ball instead, and I fully support it with Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. The center thing is going to be pretty interesting here. Now, one thing that this does bode well for is maybe we're going to see some Zion Williamson at center when he comes back. And that unit with him and Melli killed in the preseason. Here's Lowry on the drive. Good cut from Powell. Goes at Melli. Scores on him easily. And I don't like starting with Melli here either, Danny, because you have no chance of winning the tip against Gasol.
Yeah, and that's a possession in a 5-minute game.
Redick off the screen. Melli with a ton of acting, and Redick hits it. Gasol could not stay with him. He beat Kyle Lowry off 2 screens, one from Ingram, one from Melli. Melli got shoved into a spin. Here's Lowry with his 3, kept alive by Anunoby briefly. Now the Pels with a quick advantage, but Raps get back. Ingram looking to go through the pick and roll with Melli. Mid-range, Brandon Ingram off the front rim. That's a fine shot, especially late in the game like this.
Yeah, 16 seconds on the clock.
Powell going at Redick has the advantage. They'll swing it. Here's Anunoby, contested late by Ingram, and blocked,
nice
in fact,
out
by Brandon Ingram. Nice job. Anunoby aggressive from 3, but maybe a little too aggressive. Ball, pick and roll, back out. Now he's got the one-on-one against Gasol. He's going to step back. That was ambitious. Didn't learn his lesson.
You can tell these guys are gassed in overtime.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball has been out for the last 18 minutes of the game. Here's Gasol, pick and pop. No advantage gain there. They swing it. Powell going at Redick. Nice help from Melly. He'll take the three. Gasol up top, not there. They couldn't make him pay for that help from up top. These guys looking a little tired. We've had now 2 straight minutes of uninterrupted play at this level of intensity. That's pretty exhausting. They screen away for Redick, try to hand off, and it looks like it's going to be a hold on Lowry as Holiday tried to run to get the DHO. Everyone enjoying a little bit of a break here.
Nobody pertinent has 5 fouls now that Siakam is fouled out there with 4. Favors who's not playing, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart.
Here's Redick off the screen. Favors has returned now. Oh, stolen away from behind, but a foul is called. Redick went down. Let's see if we can check what happened here. Yeah, looks like they're going to get Lowry for... Oof, I don't know. This is tough here. For tripping Redick.
That wasn't really the camera angle to see if there was a trip.
They're going to try and run Redick out of the near corner again. Off the Favors screen. Lowry in trail position. Here's the drive. Nice pass. Oh, but Gasol. Hey, man, that guy has such good hands. And he got a finger on it, and it went off of Favors out of bounds. Pels with a pretty good defensive group on the floor here. Their starting lineup. They should be able to shut down this Raptors group. Here's Powell finding Gasol on the roll, and Favors could not get back. Gasol is slowed down, and he's going to go to the foul line here to give Toronto a 2-point advantage.
And there's also no help from anybody else on Gasol rolling to the rim.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. Ingram should have got over there off Anunoby, who has not shot well from 3 in his career. But I really actually, the way they've used Favors against this particular opponent, they've had him way out on the floor. I don't like that as much because, like, they don't have these guys who are just going to come into the mid-range and kill you, right? Like, make these guys beat you one-on-one. When you put 2 on the ball like that, you're giving them the opening that really they don't have good enough offensive players to deserve putting 2 on the ball in that situation.
Right. What are you trying to take away is an important way of thinking about defensive theory.
Here's the crossover from Holiday. Good defense from Anunoby. Now Holiday beats him. Man, Drew Holiday is just so in control on those drives, and he's tied it at 122. Gasol at the elbow, looking for Van Vliet out of the corner. Split action, switched nicely by the Pels. Now it's Lowry into the lane. Ball is right there. Tough fader from Lowry, and this is going to be a foul.
Let's see if this one was actually a good call.
Pels would be on the plane back to, and yeah, it looks like he got him. Pels would probably be on the plane back to New Orleans right now with a victory in hand if they hadn't fouled Kyle Lowry shooting jump shots. We can't really see it from that angle of whether the contact took place. Another situation where you'd love to have a challenge in your pocket.
And Lowry putting up a modestly, a reasonably efficient night despite going 3 of 14 from the field because of those 9 for 11 from the free throw line. So now he has 17 points on 19, I think this will make it 20 shooting possessions, which isn't great, but it's a whole lot better than a normal 3 of 14.
Yeah, by the way, watch us on YouTube. If that's not clear from the comments, that has a pause button. So if you are behind us, you can pause us if that's not clear.
Yes.
Here's Favors into the post to Ingram. First ISO he's had in a while. They try to get Redick. That's not there. Ingram using his body, fades into the lane. That's short. Good defense from Powell. Ingram knocked it away, but Raps recover. Chance for Toronto to take a commanding lead here with 1:40 left. Gasol at the elbow, looking to screen out of the corner again. They'll switch it. They get Lowry guarded by Redick. Now Lowry into the lane. They've got a nice rotation from Favors into the corner, and Van Vliet hits it anyway. I said it was a nice rotation. I disagree now. Favors has got to get there more quickly. But once again, 2 on the ball just leaves you this opening. And like Kyle Lowry is not that good of a pick and roll player that you need to put 2 on the ball that far away from the rim to me. So they've really taken advantage of that here in the overtime.
How fast does Favors check out mentally this season if the lineups keep going this way? 1, I don't think the lineups will keep going this way. 2, it's a contract year for Derek Favors. I don't think he's going to check out. And I mean, this is the first time he's gotten a chance to start at center, regularly, ever, as far as I can think about. So I think he'll be there. And yeah, the minutes were a little bit low. I wouldn't be particularly concerned.
Catch up on some stats. Ingram has struggled in the overtime. 22 points, 8 of 19 from the field.
Doesn't it feel like Drew Holiday has more than 13 points? I think like almost all of those have been on really nice plays, including some just great drives.
Yeah. Well, he only had 2 in the first half.
That's true. And he has 5 turnovers. That's something else to keep an eye on. 18 turnovers for the Pelicans in this game.
Yeah, Raps was 16, and the Raps had the worst turnover percentage by a ton early in this game.
Yeah.
So now Pel's probably got about 3 possessions left here to make up these 5 points. Josh Hart has returned as well. Lonzo is out. Melly, they're looking for Redick out of the near side corner again, going to his right. That's the way he likes it. Gasol gets out on him. Here's Hart with the 3. That's the one they needed. Melly trying to keep it alive, can't. And that could be about it here. Another bucket will put this away completely. Lowry will run it down. Gasol directing traffic under the basket. Spain action here. They'll switch it. Lowry's 3 over Holiday ends the game. Toronto will take home a victory here, defending their championship, at least for now. Holiday into the lane. Oh, what a spin move. Sets up Melly wide open in the corner, but he airballed it. Not good footwork there for Melly. Just was not really ready to shoot it. They're saying actually that was a 2-pointer. That Holiday commits the foul out on the floor. So, oh no, I'm sorry, it was a 3. My bad. Yeah, 8-point lead.
And we'll go straight into Lakers Clippers because it has already started. And in what is never a good sign for a team, this early in a game, less than 6 minutes in, the Clippers' leading scorer is a bench player. Montrezl Harrell has 4 of their 6 points. Actually, all 6 of their points have been scored by centers because Zubac has the other 2.
Don't foul, Pels, please.
They didn't. Good job, Pels.
No!
Well, we did say don't foul Raptors, so.
Yeah, no, I
get what we deserve.
should have done a better job with my voice controlling.
Well, do you want to do a little bit of a quickie preview of Lakers Clippers because we don't really care about how this game ends?
Yeah, good idea.
I mean, the LeBron AD symmetry is going to be a huge factor. What combinations of players does Vogel have on the floor? Like especially with Rondo being out, is it really, LeBron is the only ball handler for significant minutes, which it certainly looks like it's going to be. For the Clippers, how does their offense look? Who does Doc Rivers play and when? They started Beverly Shamet, and then they started Patrick Patterson as the other forward in Paul George's stead.
Yeah, Doc Rivers really likes just starting shitty lineups sometimes.
He does.
So, yeah, it looks like they came in with Harrell and Lou Williams not 4 minutes into the game as they were struggling to score. They only had 2 points when they brought those guys in.
Bolstering their 6 men of the year cases early.
Yeah, so you mentioned Rondo not playing. The other thing I'm really going to be watching is something that Jovan Buad and I talked about when he did the preview pod, was that these Clippers could really get beat up inside, and the Lakers might be the strongest interior team. All right, here we go. We're here. Clippers' new court. Leonard stopped by McGee. What a block, but they're going to get the goaltend. Ooh, maybe it's time to challenge. Challenge it.
Please don't challenge it.
I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, no, I think they should challenge it. That looked like a good block to me. Challenge it, Vogel.
That's 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, now, again, that's going to be... Oh, no, what do they got here? They got a foul? Always good to start off, really, with a clear idea of what's going on.
If anybody off the top of their head knows on trivia, the last time a Finals MVP changed teams before the next game he played,
It's never happened.
it's never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first time it's happened.
Leonard is 0 for 2 from the field. The Clippers' non-centers are a combined 0 for 5 from the field so far through the first 5+ minutes of the game.
Here's AD in the post, guarded by JaMychal Green, who's come on for Patterson. AD goes to the tough fader and scores. That is an extremely difficult shot with the help coming down from up top. This Avery Bradley Lou Williams matchup will be one to watch here. Shamet crowded by James. Kawhi into the mid-range. Beautiful bouncer, but he's rejected by McGee. What a play by JaVale getting back into it. 3-on-4. Green corner. Nice play by Lou Williams to get in the air and disrupt that pass.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not about getting the steal. If the other team has an advantage, you just stop that advantage by knocking the ball out of bounds.
That is a great pass from Kawhi. That's the biggest revelation of his truncated preseason was his passing. And he showed it there. But Harrell, a great finisher. McGee was able to just reject him. Now he and Harrell getting into it underneath. Harrell trying to be an irritant. McGee gives it up. You could tell he almost wanted to face up against Harrell. He was annoyed with him. Now a pick and roll. Switch the angle of the screen. LeBron swings it. AD, his wing three is off. Spread pick and roll there with AD out at the three-point line. Now, oh, what a steal by Davis.
That was ridiculous.
Now they push it with LeBron. Clips doing a nice job of getting back. That's a hallmark of Doc Rivers teams. They don't go for the offensive glass. LeBron feeling the ISO as Davis went way into the cameras. Waits for him to get there. Going at Harrell, right into him. Blocking foul called on Harrell, who, as you'll know, is not really an excellent ISO defender.
Early going for LeBron, 4 points on 2 of 3 from the field, missed his only 3. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and no turnovers. Yeah, and so that's one of the parts of the story of the game. 4 turnovers for the Clippers, only 1 for the Lakers, but still, Lakers, 2 steals, 4 turnovers overall, 0 fast break points.
Yeah, I don't expect them to be a big fast break team this year, in marked contrast to what they've been the last few years under Luke Walton.
And I mean, you could think about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I mean, Davis was at one point the best transition scorer in the league because he was just early in his days in New Orleans. He was just running the floor so hard. But this is a little bit of a different phase for all those guys.
LA with a 9-point lead, then they've gotten the Clippers into the bonus already. The Clippers were one of the best foul drawing teams in the NBA a year ago. I expect that to be the case again this year. Here's Williams getting past McGee. Oh, he's stopped by Davis. This Laker length has caused massive problems early. AD trying to post up in transition. Good job running the floor. He's going to go at JaMychal Green. Help comes from Lou Williams. Tough fade. Not good from Davis that time. I think he's got to try to overwhelm Green physically a little bit more than that. Looking to hand off. Williams. Nice strip from Danny Green. Will stay right here, though.
Having the shot clock on the court is interesting. You see that effect that it's above the free throw line?
Yeah, is that something that the Clippers are doing, or is it just malfunctioning?
I think that's
Oh, that's just TNT.
I think that's just TNT. I'm on board.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a dumb. I mean, it's already right there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like if you want to look at it, you can look at it. Like, why do they need a second, like right on the floor? Yeah, it's totally distracting. So difficult inbounding position here for the Clippers, but Lakers not going to try and deny it. But yeah, actually they did. Good hands from Danny Green. Now they have it slightly easier.
And now Dwight Howard is in at center.
Yeah, Howard actually led the NBA in rebound rate in the preseason. Williams engaging Howard. Howard commits the foul, and Williams is going to count this one and go to the foul line Dwight Howard, not good there. He did look more mobile in the preseason, but getting that arm up on Lou Williams, yep, that should be a shooting foul.
He'd already gathered. Yeah, it's a good call. And, Dwight Howard, very, elite defensive center, but moving out on the floor and just making sure that your body's in the right place can be a challenge for anybody.
So we'll take a little break here, catch you up on some of the stats briefly. Actually, no, I'm going to reload my tee.
And I will answer some questions. People are talking about the shot clock on the floor. Yay! Start a conversation. Quinn Cook, why are they even worried about playing Rondo? You and I both agree, Chester Eugene. I mean, Rondo, especially the idea of theoretically starting him in certain circumstances, he just doesn't add much to those lineups. And not that Quinn Cook is any great shakes, but the Lakers have players that fit better with LeBron, and then in the non-LeBron minutes, maybe you throw out a little bit of Rondo with everything else. Apologies if I missed already, but any thoughts on Raps Pels? I'll probably save that. Nate and I, so the structure of tonight's podcast, this is good for those of you who are newer on this. Welcome. The podcast tonight, Nate and I are going to do a brief thoughts on both games, and then we will do, we already recorded our the first big segment of our preseason predictions. We did it before the games, of course, today, and that's including records, standings, champion, MVP, all that fun stuff. We still have some of the awards for a future iteration. So I'll probably save most of it for them, but big picture. Pelicans, their depth looked pretty good. I thought some of their support players did a better job than I expected. Raptors defense is still for real, and we'll have to see. I mean, fouls on jump shots. That was another big part of this. What does Patterson do better than Jermichael Green? Post defense? I don't think he does that much better than Jermichael Green. I'm a big Jermichael Green believer. And I mean, there have been times when Patterson has been a better shooter, but
that's what Jovan said. The coaching staff likes his post defense and shooting. But
and post defense is important playing the 4 against the Lakers.
Yeah, we'll see whether he plays another minute in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, someone asked earlier, was my favorite dish at Galit? You may notice the swag here. Thanks, Zach Engel, the chef. My connection is my sister is the beverage director there. So if you live in Chicago, go check it out. Awesome Middle Eastern Israeli food. The best thing there, the hummus and the pita are both absolutely life-changing, better than you've had anywhere else. I mean, everything was awesome. The trout was really good. The hummus with the Bubby's brisket was probably my absolute number one favorite, but everything was just outstanding. And of course, the cocktails as well. So yeah, if you happen to be in Chicago, or even if you're not, vote for my sister in the Jean Banchet Awards. She got nominated last year as the best bartender in Chicago. So hoping she actually wins that this year.
There you get to see Frank Vogel and Kittlefinger sharing a conversation, and the Clippers have the ball.
Here's Williams going to that preferred left hand. We're going to get an illegal screen up top, though. Patrick Beverley, the guilty party. Oh, no, I think maybe they'll get Harrell here instead. Troy Daniels has come on along with KCP, and looks like a hold on Jermichael Green as AD was trying to come across.
And that's free
post
throws.
up. Yeah, and I mean, this Lakers team, they're not going to be the most exciting team in the world. You know, there's going to be a lot of screens and post-ups for AD and pick and roll for LeBron in the half court, and there's not really that many other guys who are going to do anything. They're going to play two bigs. They're just going to be big. They're going to rebound. They're going to block shots. Defensively, you're going to have just guys who are playing off the ball, shooting three-pointers. I mean, it's going to look kind of more, I mean, aside from the amount of shooting that they'll have, kind of more like a team from 10 years ago, as AD missing both free throws. But I think they're going to be really good. They are my pick to make the NBA Finals out of the West. Here's the back door. Nice stop there from Howard. Swing it out. The three from JaMychal Green is off. Rebound KCP. He looks to get it to LeBron. Again, look at that. That's a perfect encapsulation of some of their limited ball handling on this team, where he's like, there's only one guy you can throw it to. LeBron guarded by Lou Williams. Finds AD. Help comes over. AD had KCP wide open, and instead of swinging it to him, he travels.
I think he might have gotten tripped. Are they calling that travel?
I
think he tripped himself.
Yeah, excellent defense underneath from Howard against Mo Harkless, who's getting his first time. Paul George, of course, will not play the first 10 games of the season, as here's Williams off the screen, snakes in there. Good help from AD. They did not have the spacing on that play. Now Harkless going at AD, not an advantage matchup. Harrell with the missed dunk. They did not follow up on the defensive glass, but got lucky with the missed dunk. Now here's LeBron, drag screen from AD in transition. LeBron pulling up over Montrezl Harrell, way short with the jumper, then goes for a stupid steal in the backcourt. Clips not a great transition team either, though, and the Lakers are back in order. Now Williams with the matchup against Daniels. Daniels is an absolute sieve, and he commits the foul immediately. That was one thing that really stood out, seeing Daniels in person against the Warriors in preseason, was that he really, really struggles to defend.
Troy Daniels versus Lou Williams could just be a point fest. Neither one of those guys is even great at defending what the other guy does well, which is a problem.
So LeBron is going out here. Who the hell is going to handle the ball now for the Lakers? That's going to be an interesting question. Looks like they've gone with Quinn Cook as Lou Williams draws another cheapo foul here. And while the Lakers and Clippers are two very talented teams, I don't know that I'm like that into them aesthetically. Gonna be a lot of free throws with these guys.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Kawhi Leonard is a great player. You know, like we've talked about it for years, and he was the difference maker, the biggest difference maker in Toronto's championship run. But his teams are not always the most fun to watch, and so you have that bit of character as well. So we'll see, but there is so much importance on how these teams fare over the course of the season. They're the teams that you and I respectively picked to make it out of the Western Conference. So whether they're fun to watch or not, they matter a whole hell of a lot.
So you may notice our advanced stats on the bottom of the screen. Those are courtesy of rthoops.net. They are in beta right now, but they're going to be live pretty soon here. They're giving us a sneak peek. And if you're ever interested in watching these live updating advanced stats, these are actual possession counts here, not estimated.
And if you wanted to make sure that the Clippers really do have a 32% true shooting so far, great way to know.
AD finally hitting a free throw. Clippers really struggling to score so far. Also noteworthy, how much has Kawhi played so far right now? He went out pretty early on. He's only played 6 minutes. So I'm very interested to see what his load is going to be. Another missed free throw from AD. Hopefully being in a Lakers uniform doesn't mean you just miss free throws. They were the worst free throw shooting team in the league last year. Here's Lou Williams to his right. He sets up an easy three-pointer for JaMychal Green. That Trez Lou Williams pick and roll is extremely difficult to stop, but also should be pretty easy to score on at the other. So they're going to run everything through AD now. They swing it out. Daniels wide open three as Lou Williams just had his head completely in the clouds. No rotation at all there from Lou.
Well, and that's a great example from Lou Williams of like the being a helper but not actually helping problem. Like if you're not actually going to do anything on the play, don't leave your guy.
Well, I will say I was maybe a little harsh on him. He did kind of get in there to cover Howard, although that was probably someone else's responsibility. But Troy Daniels is money from the corner every time. Lou finding Beverly, contested by Cook on the three, not there. Oh, 4 Lakers did not hustle for the rebound. Harrell got it. What a pass between his legs, but Harrell not ready to shoot that one from 3. Good defense from KCP, but then Williams able to get into the mid-range and Dwight Howard, after he got out on the floor last time and picked up the foul, lets Lou fire away on that mid-ranger. Beverly hounding Quinn Cook. And you see his limitations as a ball handler. Now Cook into the lane and goes right in for the layup. So Beverly did his job, forced Cook to drive, but no help available. Williams into the lane going at Troy Daniels. And, they're going to get Howard with the foul. He can't believe it.
I think we'll need to see a replay to really get if the
Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't know if they're calling it for him kind of falling on him like that. Hey, challenge! Challenge! Challenge so I can criticize you for not having a challenge later. Yeah, that looks pretty clean to me, I gotta say.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called that.
I mean, that's one where I wouldn't challenge because technically there's probably enough contact there to call.
Yeah,
Williams,
the clear and convincing standard is strong enough that I think on a play like that there's enough judgment. You want it to be more of like an objectively screwed up call.
Yeah, so Lou and Harrell now with 10 of the Clippers 17 points. I'm sorry, no, 8 of the Clippers 17 points.
And sorry, clear and conclusive. I should get the terminology.
Oh yeah. Here's AD ISOing. This is not exactly the most creative set in the world. Going, beautiful move. The help came from the baseline. JaMychal Green did not force him to the baseline, and that left a wide open path. Here's Beverly. Harrell goes for the jump shot over Howard. Missed that. Howard outletting to Cook. I'd like to see AD with the ball out on the floor a little bit more here. They're trying to get him into the post. That's where he has the advantage. But maybe even have him run some pick and rolls. That's a little easier, of course, as they knock it away than when he's at the 5. We'll see if that happens later on. Oh, that's got to be a blocking foul. Oh, my God. He's still moving forward. Challenge. Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. Beverly watch
is
his chest.
moving forward there.
That's a terrible
And
call.
he's turning to the side as well. I mean, yeah, look at that. He takes 2 steps into him forward. That's ridiculous. And extremely dangerous for that matter as well. A second personal foul on Anthony Davis. Probably should have challenged. So Kawhi is back in. This is a good sign for the number of minutes he's going to play. You imagine he's going to play 3 stints here in this first half. So this is a pretty rough unit now for the Lakers. They wanted to have AD out there for some scoring. And also with Danny Green out, Kawhi should be able to go to work with this group. He's got a huge size advantage on KCP. I mean, that's just easy money.
Yeah, I mean,
for him every time.
Kawhi Leonard can move stronger players than KCP to get to his spot,
Yeah.
so it's not really a whole lot of tough.
Yeah, I
work.
mean, Danny Green and LeBron are the 2 guys who have a chance of holding up to him. So this is a very limited group for the Lakers with AD out. That is a tough fader from Cook. Not a good shot, but I don't know if they can get good shots. Maybe they're just trying to hold out here until LeBron can come in at the start of the half. Good denial by KCP on Leonard after he gave it up. Here's Williams. Oh, nice help from Daniels to take away the roll man, but Kawhi with 7 on the clock backing in. Jared Dudley coming over to help. They get Green in the corner. Late close from Cook. No difference at all. And JaMychal Green struggled shooting early in camp, but certainly shot it well as a Clipper last year and has hit 2 3-pointers here in this first quarter. Cook being hounded again. He's not a good enough ball handler to do much against Beverly. Beverly seeing blood in the water right now. Here's KCP. Cook is going to have to fire into the lane, and probably lucky he didn't commit a charge and that the shot clock and game clock expired. So 3-point Lakers lead. They took a little bit of a hit, 5-point hit after that terrible charge call against AD. That was a huge swing. It really disrupted Frank Vogel's rotations. They had no chance to score with that group.
It did. Something else to track. Anthony Davis already missed 4 free throws, 3 of 7 from the line in this game. So that the Lakers are 25 points on 9 of 17 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Clippers 22 points on 7 of 20 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. So they're actually even worse. Well, not even worse. The Lakers are at 40% from long distance. Clippers are at 17%. Leading scorers, Anthony Davis, 9 points on 7. He has 3 of 7 from the field and 3 of 7 from the line. Lou Williams and JaMychal Green each have 6 for the Clippers, both coming off the bench. Oh, apparently they have already used their challenge.
When was that? That was early on?
Maybe it was early on.
Don't know if you've mentioned it on a pod yet, but can you talk about Dinwiddie's contract situation? He's basically trying to create this investment vehicle with the player option year on his contract. I haven't read up on it that much, actually. I'm not that interested in it, frankly, because it just doesn't really affect anything that happens on the court. But it seems pretty clear to me that the CBA would prevent it because there's a clause that prevents you from assigning your contract to others.
Intellectually, I did a little bit of consultation when Shams had the piece about it, and what I talked about was the most interesting thing for me is if it affects the way that Dinwiddie thinks about that player option decision. You know, kind of like the idea of having shareholders. That if that affects his willingness to opt in or opt out, that's definitely interesting. And then I talked about the potential pitfalls in terms of, you have to be really diligent in terms of circumvention and all that type of stuff. That nobody who was in any way connected with an NBA team had an investment in it because they could have an incentive in how it turned out. NFL CBA allows teams to roll over up to 10% of their space from one season to the next. Is that a good idea for the NBA?
Seems like it's unnecessarily complex.
Yeah, I think that with a soft cap, that would create some additional problems just with the structure of everything.
Well, yeah, it would, because what would happen is you could then just add so much salary in 1 year that they wouldn't ultimately want you to be able to do that. I mean, you could like, because if your cap number went up by another like 10 million or 20 million or 50 million or something, because like think about it this way, right, Danny? Like if you just kept 30 million open 1 year and then you had a bunch of expiring contracts, you had 50 million next year, you could have like 80 million.
You know who would support it? Cheap owners, because it would give them such an easy out to not spend for a year. Be like, oh, we're saving money for that year. Yeah. Oh, whoops, no big free agent.
And then those owners would complain when the Lakers had 80 million in cap space and 3 max players went there, right?
I think there's just way too much downside risk for the NBA.
Yeah, this also I think is where they miss Kuzma, who I didn't think was gonna be a huge loss for them, but having one other offensive creator, I mean, they are just so limited right now. Even Rondo would be helping them at this point.
Even Rondo.
All right, we're back here. Lou Williams pick and roll. LeBron has come back in. Finds Green. Good closeout from Dudley. A 3 from Beverly. That's off. But it bounces right back to the Clippers. 10 on the clock. Williams, beautiful split off Dudley on the pick and roll. And Dudley picks up the Euro foul in the half court, Danny.
And the Clippers, 31% offensive rebound rate so far in this game. The Lakers have 0 offensive rebounds.
Going into the post again. LeBron hiding on Lou Williams right now. Kawhi draws the double, but has to loop a pass out of there. Mid-ranger over KCP is there. Again, Dwight Howard not getting out there, and these Clippers mid-range shooters might be too good on those shots. We'll see if they make an adjustment. Here's KCP off a double screen. Not there. That shot was open. Clips can take the lead. Williams at Howard towards Leonard. His 3 over James, and that was a pretty pathetic closeout from LeBron James.
And so now, despite that slow start, Clippers are ahead by 2.
Here's James finding Dudley, not ready to shoot it. Swing it instead. James, one-on-one against Green, takes the 3 and hits it. James, with that little fading to his left on the three-pointer, puts LA back in front. Here's Green going at Dudley and commits the travel.
JaMychal Green could end up being a huge signing for the Clippers. The fact that he was only able to get the room mid-level exception, because I think he might end up being their closing 5, depending on what the Clippers do at the deadline.
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating to see how they close here. They're going to Troy Daniels against Lou Williams, but Lou actually stayed with him. Late clock here. James swinging it to Dudley. Beautiful pass by LeBron James. I mean, Dwight Howard cut to the rim. JaMychal Green stepped up 2 steps, and that was enough. LeBron James saw it hit Jared Dudley in the corner. Williams fading away. Oh, he almost committed travel. James with good defense that time. Here's Daniels in transition. Pulls up off the dribble for a 3. James with the tip, and he's going to get fouled by JaMychal Green. This should be free throws here, if there's any justice in this world.
And somebody asked how I could say that the Lakers weren't necessarily going to be fun to watch and also having them high in my league pass thing. One part of that is I was thinking off the cuff. Another part of it is you get to see LeBron James play basketball, and he's such an unbelievable passer. And I just love passing. It's one of my favorite things.
He is the people's choice, Danny.
Is he?
Well, maybe not in this country.
Thank you, Nate.
James again. Oh, there's the steal by Harkless. He's going to put this one down. Jared Dudley wasn't able to get open that time.
And the first of many friendly reminders that the Clippers were given a first-round pick to take Mo Harkless.
Harkless pressuring James. I like this strategy of trying to wear down James. He's got a lot to do. Goes in over Harrell, likes that fader. Could not get it. Usually you'd see him go right to the rim against someone like Harrell. Kawhi trying to put KCP in the mix. KCP does well to get through the screen. Now back to goal. Screen again. Fade from Kawhi. Yes. Kawhi Leonard looking unstoppable from the mid-range, picking up right where he left off as the NBA Finals MVP. Pick and roll with LeBron again here. Kawhi is on him now. Let's see how Kawhi looks defensively here. A little more active than we saw last year. James just knocks Harrell backwards and scores. And I think they're gonna say that Howard got pushed in the back here, and maybe this is an and one. Yeah, it was Kawhi just shoved Howard in the back after the ball had gone through the net.
And Howard used that push to knock down Patrick Beverley, which is kind of great.
I mean, the strength of LeBron James to be mid-spin like that, bump into Harrell and knock him back.
Bump into a center, like a pretty built center, that's incredible.
So Howard with a chance to complete, I should say, a 3-point play.
And he does.
Leonard matched up by KCP once again. LeBron has Lou Williams, which is interesting. You'd think that those two guys should switch matchups. Here's Howard coming over into the strong side zone on Kawhi. They swing it. Good closeout from Dudley. Harkless's 3 is there. That's going to be a key shot for Mo Harkless to get playing time. That was not a particularly easy one. Dudley was there, but Harkless just rose up over him. Tie game at 34 as the action is picked up. Here's LeBron going right past Leonard for the bucket. He saw everyone paying attention to the screens along the baseline and just went right to the rim. No help there again from the Clippers. Leonard pulling up, and he scores over KCP. Oh, yes.
I mean, to see basically a wide open net there when he's being covered by somebody smaller, but that's Kawhi Leonard's mid-range game. It's incredible.
So LeBron is just going to go back to goal now. He waves everyone away. Double team's going to have to come here. LeBron finds Dudley, swing it. Daniels gets past Harkless, right down the lane, floats it up, scores, and one. He got tripped from behind. LeBron James making instant decisions right now, and the Clippers have no answers for him. LeBron James looking pretty damn MVP-like here in the second quarter.
And credit there to Troy Daniels. He makes the pass off the little drive and just keeps moving towards the basket.
Yeah, perfect.
And then does the giant killer. Now is a great time for questions. I will also mention patreon.com/DuncanLaRue. Great way to support this endeavor. We do subscriber-only podcast. We'll be doing one this week. If you subscribe, you can ask questions now. We'll record that later in the week. The prompt is already out. You can find it on my Twitter.
Yeah, you ask the questions on Patreon, by the way.
Yeah, on Patreon.
Not here,
not here, on Patreon. And we also do salary cap sheets and whatever else we can think of. Some a great way to support this endeavor, which is not ad-supported at the moment. Will anything change with Dunked On? Nope.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Same old. But you should definitely listen to I'm going to try to get the name right from memory. The Hollinger and Duncan NBA podcast.
NBA show.
Sorry.
Dash.
I listened. You got my download and you got my listen. You missed that part of it, but it was very good.
Dash. So Hollinger and Duncan NBA show. Dash. NBA basketball podcast.
Colon hard target.
Search engine optimization. yeah, colon hard target. What did you think of Siakam's work tonight? Did my Raps feature him in any interesting ways? No, I think it was just more of what he was doing last year. A lot of those dribble pitches, just more of him with the ball, working into floater range, the spin moves. New Orleans didn't have anyone to guard him. He looked pretty good. Hit a couple of threes.
If you were Vogel, would you put Jared Dudley on Kawhi? Yeah. Yeah, he's strong. I'd try it. Might not work, but it's just as good of an option. What is more impressive, 6 titles with one team or 3 titles with different teams? I think context is incredibly important there, but generally speaking, especially if we're talking about a star player in most, if not all of those circumstances, I would say the different teams, because it's possible that you could just have way better talent and just run through the league for a while. So for me, I would say the different teams might be an indicator, but there's so much context that we don't know.
I think actually maybe one team is more impressive. Because
well, I'm just thinking about a situation like, let's say, like the Warriors, where they just have way more talent than everyone else, or like those Chicago teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, they won 3,
did.
and they're
done.
Unlikely to win another one, in my opinion. So, no, I mean, the 6 is just unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, they did have.
It's sorry, 3 titles with different teams. I was thinking it was 6 titles with 3 different teams. Like
no.
Oh no, then it's the 6.
It's basically
then it's the
MJ
6.
versus LeBron.
Right. No, the 6. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I misread the question. I thought it was a conceptual question.
Because you can do what LeBron did and go somewhere else as soon as everyone around you started aging.
Yeah.
And then your team that you're on can throw all the pieces in to win a couple of championships, and rather than playing with the long game. All right, Clips didn't know what they were running here to start with. They try to get Shamet coming off the screen. He's returned now. First we've seen of him since we started our cast. Here's Leonard looking to create space. Late clock, tough fader. That's got to look too familiar for Philly fans right there.
No bounces this time, though.
Yeah, Kawhi's jump shot looks ridiculous right now. Here's James posting up deep against Harkless. Help is going to have to come here. They've set the screen out for Troy Daniels. Nice action. Daniels missing the shot, but that's a good way to leverage the post-up threat of James. Here's Harkless in transition. Howard got screened off nicely by Harkless, by Harrell, and Harkless with the dunk. Thank you.
And nice job ostensibly using the battle for position to screen a guy out. Was really nice from Harrell there.
Yeah, AD still out of the game. I mean, this is a big load on LeBron. That's one of your concerns here, is just that, like, this is asking a lot of him to just handle the ball like this every time. And the Clips have a lot of guys they can throw at him to make him work. Let's see if he wears down a little bit. And what are we going to get here? Looks like a foul underneath as Howard was trying to post up off the switch. Yeah, Howard could have maybe done a little bit more to get in Harkless's way on that dunk as they show the replay. And James, another just pretty dumb gamble that gave up an easy lane. Yeah, you see a lot of fake hustle from LeBron defensively.
But he'll still have some actual hustle plays, and people always point to that. But when you look at defensive impact, it's possession by possession. Those gambles matter a lot.
So LeBron getting another rest here as Davis returns. Danny Green goes for the pull-up jump. Wow, that was a moon ball. Howard fighting for the offensive rebound. Not going to get it, though. But he will get a foul. That one, a pretty obvious call, though. Dwight is shaking his head.
And I believe, to this point, JaVale McGee he started the game and then has not returned, but he could just be getting a shorter final stint.
Yeah, I mean, and I really liked McGee better than Howard for this group.
So do I.
Yeah, that's a clear foul by Howard. Because Howard really is he's not really much of a finisher at this point in time. Also, we'll note again, we haven't seen any Anthony Davis at center yet. McGee is back. Leonard backdooring Green easily, and he stuffs with the left hand. We saw that quick left-handed dunk to devastating effect in the playoffs a year ago.
The first game Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green have ever played against each other.
Yeah, they've been teammates there. Well, no, not their entire careers. Actually, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Green he was on the Spurs by the time Leonard got drafted.
I believe so.
Here's a fast break. Shamet off the turned over entry pass, and Shamet hitting a three. Clippers now surging to a 6-point advantage. LeBron goes out, and the Lakers offense falling apart here. Again, you really worry about this Lakers offense when LeBron is off the floor. That's the number one thing.
And also the fact that even if they were healthier, there aren't that many other options. I mean, are they going to lean on Kuzma and Anthony Davis for some of those minutes? And then the other part of it is LeBron and AD, very symbiotic players. And so symbiotic players, you don't want to stagger them if you can avoid it. You want those guys to help each other.
But they're going to have to.
But they're going to have to because it's the only way to make it work. This is not Russ and KD.
Yeah, Kawhi, 17 points, and he's done it on only 10 shooting possessions. He's +7. And
his shot chart will be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the Clippers in the post-Patrick Patterson era in this game, Patterson was -5 early on. So they've outscored the Lakers by 11 without him on the floor.
Can a Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet backcourt hold up defensively? Yeah, I think they can as a regular season proposition. They will run into some challenges against certain teams in the playoffs, but not everyone. I mean, VanVleet, really tough defender. Lowry he's strong, so those guys can play above their listed height. So I think they can do okay. They'll run into matchups against some of the best, but it's a long time until that point.
Hey, thanks to Casey on Twitch for putting out the link to vote for the Jean Benchet Awards for my sister, Olivia Duncan. So appreciate that, Casey. Casey, I think is a Chicago guy, if I remember correctly. And just for that, Casey, we will answer your question. Do you see Coby White starting by the All-Star break? How should the Bulls manage this season's success versus grooming Coby White?
I think Sato's going to have the start for a while. I think he's a better player significantly right now than Coby White and Jim Boylan. If his goal is still to make the playoffs, you start your best players. But you can still, with the 48-minute game, you can still give Coby White time with their best players. And I think that's how you split the atom for this year, is you just kind of stagger it enough that Coby White plays with those guys. But you don't need him opening or closing games necessarily. If he earns it, awesome.
Yeah, now I like him on the second unit. He might actually be their second best perimeter scorer on this team. He's a work in progress passing the ball at the moment. I think you can say that.
And finishing.
If he's playing well enough, maybe you throw him in. But I think Satoransky is going to be better defensively. He's just a little bit more solid. And he's also got some more size, switchability. I think White and Levine together as your starting backcourt, at least now, it might just be too bad defensively. But I think you basically just play it that he gets what he earns. And I think he's earned being in the rotation to start with. But probably looks a little bit better coming off the bench at this point in time.
From Winston Selleck, Danny, when is the collab with No Dunks? Whenever they ask me.
All right, we're back here. Quinn Cook is in. He's being pressured up by Shamet. AD gets it to JaVale McGee. Back screen for AD. JaVale trying to go off the dribble and then just throws it away. Terrible possession. Again, you're just seeing as Avery Bradley commits the foul from behind and Beverly goes down. You're seeing, again, the Lakers have no one that they can trust to even enter the ball into the post at times. Quinn Cook is getting pressured up. He can't get the ball up the floor. He's better as an off-ball guy. JaVale McGee is trying to enter the ball into AD, takes a dribble and then throws it away. It's looking ugly now.
Speaking of ugly, something to file away, the Lakers are already in the bonus. This could be a slow end of the first half.
Bradley hounding Lou Williams, who then screens for Beverly. Oh, what a cutoff by Avery Bradley. And then he competes to get back on Lou Williams, and it doesn't matter. Lou hits it anyway. That was a pretty impressive defensive possession that Lou Williams just rendered completely meaningless. Cook off a McGee screen. Again, you see how much difficulty he's having getting them into the offense against Shamet, who's not some amazing defender. Here's Avery Bradley, and he beat Lou Williams pretty easily there. Lou didn't have much of an excuse for just leaving Avery Bradley. Now here's Beverly off the screen. They miscommunicate, and he rolls right in for the easy layup.
And theoretically, one of the benefits of playing two bigs is that you can have rim protection, even if the main guys out there didn't have any there.
Here's Bradley.
Pull up Jay.
Yeah, he's probably got all he can eat from the perimeter with this group. I mean, if you can even dribble into a mid-ranger, you're looking pretty good. Here's Beverly. They miscommunicate again. Not good from the Lakers these last couple of times down, knowing who they have. Here's Danny Green with the transition. Now they get it into AD finally. They've at least got shooting on the floor now. AD double team. Good help from Beverly, and they're going to get a jump ball here. And AD's passing has not been good tonight, Danny. He took a step forward that last year with the Pels, but these sets aren't that creative. When you've got four guys on the opposite side of the floor and it's just a straight AD ISO, he's still better as a play finisher. And great play by Beverly coming over to help, but you're not leaving anyone open in that situation when you come from the baseline and everyone else is on the other side. So, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, Danny, but they really actually are missing Rajon Rondo with this second group because they just have no one to run a pick and roll with AD right now. Yeah, Patrick Beverly is not going to just...
Beverly trying every single David strategy. He's going to probably try to pull Anthony Davis's pants down to get this rebound. Yeah, this tip. He did not.
They tip it back out to Cook. He gets it to Bradley against Lou Williams. Screen roll. Bradley going against Lou. Wow, that's really just the stoppable force against the movable object right there. Avery Bradley trying to go one-on-one against Lou Williams. Beverly on the drive past Danny Green. McGee stops him nicely at the rim. McGee right there under the basket. Again, they have no one to dribble it and push the ball, though. They swing it. Quinn Cook's three over Beverly is way off. Beverly disrupted him nicely.
And that was actually a pretty good read by Danny Green to get that pass over there.
Here's Williams. They go under on him. Rescreen. Goes into Bradley. Bradley picks up the foul. That one, to me, should have been a no call, Danny.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he didn't really impede much there, and so you just, like I said with the Redick one earlier, just let it go. Not everything needs to be a foul.
Oh yeah, I mean the only contact there is between Lou's forearm and Bradley. I mean that's just like that's not a charge, but it's not a blocking foul either.
And also making some of those no calls. A no call is definitely more fair than an incorrect call the opposite way.
Yeah. Lou going at Quinn Cook now. AD out on the floor. Good pick and roll defense. Shamet into the lane. Fading away over KCP. That's off. Here's LeBron pushing. I think KCP might actually be one of their better pick and roll ball handlers at this point. LeBron between his legs goes into the lane. Got stopped. Leonard now pushing it. They're super zoomed in so I can't see anything. Here's Kawhi going at his former teammate Green. Oh, nice steal from KCP. Knocked it out of bounds. It'll remain Clippers ball.
Yeah, and then as the broadcast is talking about Kawhi, 13 points already in the second quarter with 3 minutes to go.
Missed that one. He, on the move, didn't have the greatest look at it. James looking for AD. Oh, he actually missed him on an alley-oop that time. Now, AD, I thought he could have posted up closer, but instead he catches it way out on the floor. AD going right through Mo Harkless, and the Clippers do not have the size to deal with him at that position. They really got to send the double team. That's worked a little bit better.
And players, especially if you have a size disadvantage, swinging down with their hand there, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. If it's not completely clean, the call is going to go in advantage of the big guy.
So let's see if AD can actually hit some free throws here.
I believe these are his first of the second quarter.
One more coming for Davis. He's avoided picking up that third foul, which has been critical. Leonard, as they go under on him with Green, forcing him towards his right. Leonard into three guys, and he's going to get hacked. Not a good foul there to reach in, as the Lakers, for the first time, are going with AD at center to close the half.
Oh, so we got an explanation of from the NBA official account of what happened on the successful challenge. They said that Lou Williams had not gathered the ball when that foul occurred, thus it was not a shooting foul, and so that's how Vogel won the challenge. And that's a 3-point difference because he didn't get continuation. I can't remember what happened on the possession, but it took the points off the board.
Yeah, nice work there.
After unsuccessful challenges from both sides in the first game, good job, Frank Vogel, in the NBA history books.
I like the way the Clippers continue to pressure up AD in the post. LeBron has to get closer here. He's not even a threat. AD just shooting it straight up. And AD, like Joel Embiid, he's a pretty good shooter facing up without having to put it on the floor at all. James out on the floor, conventional pick and roll defense. Lou with the floater nicely over Anthony Davis. James into the lane, picked up by Harrell. Now he's going to go one-on-one against him. No, beautiful lob into Davis. And Davis is going to score this and one. What a pass from LeBron James. Just saw the man on Davis's hip. Davis with great hands threaded the needle on the lob, and he'll go to the line to bring the Lakers within one.
Yeah, and Leonard read it, but he just couldn't get in there quite in time. It wasn't necessarily about having the call. He just didn't have the right space. And great hands by AD there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of this type of action from the Lakers of just set up the pins and knock them down, but LeBron and AD are good enough to do that. Here's Leonard getting past AD, fades over a man. The Lakers, to me, Danny, are letting Kawhi Leonard get the ball to his right hand a little bit too easy. I mean, you remember the Bucks strategy was forcing him left. That worked for a while, and then he started really beating that. But he's just so money going to his right there. Here's James stepping way back with 6 on the shot clock. That was a horrendous possession. They push it ahead. Harrell going at James. James with the stop. Oh, they're going to call this. James is not happy. What'd you think? Was that a foul?
I haven't seen a replay, but my instinct is yes. I think he jumped forward into him.
Let's see. Nah, that looks good to me. And he did. I think they said that he got him on the arm. Challenge!
They already won the challenge.
Yeah, maybe he got him on the forearm a little bit there.
And they don't have a challenge.
I know. That's the joke.
Well, considering you didn't know that they'd used it for a while, I think it's fair. You can't just switch the joke. I guess you can.
Patterson makes his return. We haven't seen him since the opening 5 minutes. Try to get one more body out there against AD. One more coming for the Louisville product, originally a second-round pick of the Rockets. Came over to the Clippers in that Chris Paul deal. Then got a 2-year, $12 million contract as he misses that second free throw in restricted free agency in the summer of 2018. Here's James going right at Harrell. Harrell with the block. That's one thing James has not finished particularly well tonight. Shamet. Oh, he stopped from behind by Green. Oh, I thought he got a hand on it, but it actually goes in.
I think he might have gotten a hand on it. It still went in.
Here's AD out on the floor. First time we've seen that. Now they want to get it into the post to him. He needs to go faster here. Going at Harrell. Tries to draw the foul. Cannot. Harrell has had some good interior defense these last couple of times.
And this could be a big closing kick for the Clippers if they can get another bucket.
Oh, yeah, the blow by. What a pass underneath by Williams. Harrell, and he'll go to the line for 2 more.
And LeBron, not a high foul player, but there it was another example of, just kind of got beat a little bit to the spot and just commits the foul instead of doing something else like playing defense. Kevin Chu asking if Zubac got absolutely roasted in his 4 minutes. It's a great question, but we don't know because they were still showing the Raptors game during that time. But that's as good a good rationale as any.
Yeah, 4 of 4 for mid-range for Kawhi in this quarter. Our director of basketball research, Bendel, tells us at Split the Post. You can follow him there.
So, I mean, one of the most interesting questions here for the Clippers is not only who starts and ends games, but who finishes the season on the team for some of these role players. I was thinking about that with Harrell because he could be any number of those things.
AD again on the straight post-up, goes to the baseline. Help comes from Shamet, and Shamet commits the foul. He came too late that time,
And he put his hands down a little bit, and you lose the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So now we'll see if the Clippers can properly execute this 2-for-1 with 38.4 left. You have to move pretty quickly, but it's doable.
You know what? I trust Lou Williams to get it done.
Lou, get a shot.
He is maybe the original progenitor, the Lou for one.
That is presumably why he is on the line for this rebound, despite Anthony Davis missing 4 free throws already in this game.
AD starting to find the range from the line. Here comes Lou. Yeah, he's going to get this up, I promise you. Here it goes.
Shot it like he was playing the Warriors at Oracle.
Oh, man. That's just... You got to know that's coming in the 2-for-1. Beverly now trying to hound James. Gets past him, and what are they going to say here?
They called for the reaching foul, and the Lakers are in the bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, again, AD, this is on him. He's got to know that Lou Williams is going to take that 2-for-1 every time. He's been in the league long enough that if we can tell you it's coming, he should be able to. James missing the first free throw. Shot down near a career low last year. He was in the high 60s. 2 of the last 3 years, actually, he's been in the 60s. But Lakers offense really grinding to a halt here. Frankly, I can't believe I'm saying this, Danny. I kind of like them better with the center on the floor. I think they've actually looked better that way.
They know how to function offensively with it.
Well, and their defenses look bad.
True.
Without that. Here's Lou Williams. Screen with Leonard. Leonard going at Green. Right past James. Underneath Zubac. Easy layup. Zubac wanted a foul call. Probably should have gotten one.
And that was a nice pass by Kawhi as well. Draw the help and then get there.
Here's Green. He's going to have to throw it up over Leonard. Not close. And the Clippers, after a rough start to this one, put up 62 points. Lou Williams and Kawhi Leonard absolutely unstoppable in the second quarter. That second quarter for the Clips, 40-29.
And I believe that was 16 points for Kawhi in the second quarter alone.
Yeah, 20 for the game on 8 of 11.
Some of the interesting advanced stats for me, or do you want to save those for later?
No, go ahead. I'm going to grab some more tea while you do that.
An even 50 possessions for both teams in that first half. The Clippers, 124 offensive rating, helped in part by not turning the ball over that much, 14% of their possessions, and having 66% true shooting, 25% offensive rebound rate, 0 offensive rebounds, period, for the Los Angeles Lakers. That is worth watching. They were still efficient offensively. 108 is totally fine if you weren't giving up a 124 the other way. Both teams, decent block rates. So we'll keep an eye on all that. Now I can answer some of your questions as Nate refills his tea. Wish the G League free throw rule was in effect. I agree with you. I think that it would definitely be interesting, and I think there might be a bridge into like where maybe you don't use it in the last 2 minutes or the last 4 minutes or something like that. But I mean that would still be a big improvement, and something the NBA has been looking at for a while. The WNBA, I remember I've heard this about as well, is trying to get to a 2-hour game, because for television purposes that would be a lot easier to sell, and free throws are reducing free throws is a great way to shorten the game while increasing the per minute entertainment value. So that's the type of thing they should be looking for. Challenges go the other direction. From SP Dunn 5, which of these teams should have more regular season motivation? I mean, the easy answer would be neither of them, because both these teams, it's more about being healthy. My instinct, just on a very basic level, is the Lakers, just because they're a little bit more matchup dependent, I think, than the Clippers are, just with the some of the questions about the how big they have to play and everything else. And I also think that the Clippers are better than the Lakers, especially if they improve at the deadline, so thus the Lakers have more motivation, because them being a better seed presumably makes it more likely for them to face easier opponents. Just tuned in. How were Dwight's minutes? I think they were okay. He was moving decently defensively. His offensive game is still exceedingly limited, but as a low minute backup center, totally fine. From Iron Branch, very surprised that JaVale McGee didn't play in the second quarter. The Lakers should be using that size to their advantage, playing the Clippers game at the moment. I agree with that. I think that not only is JaVale, Nate brought up that they're better defensively, but also the Lakers are very good at, especially LeBron, at using those hard rollers, and AD can do a lot of other things offensively, and especially with guys like Kuzma out, they just don't have as many other options. So yeah, JaVale McGee would have a significant part in my rotation under this iteration of the Lakers. Oh, that one's asked specifically to Nate, so I will wait on him for that. What contender matches up with LeBron and AD best? That's a really good question. Defensively, I think it's the Sixers, because the Sixers just they have a lot of rim protection. They have a lot of different guys that they can throw. I mean, because basically they're starting a bunch of 6'9", 6'10" guys. But I do worry that the Sixers offense could flatline a little bit against a team with that much rim protection, especially if the Ben Simmons shooting experience it goes as I expect it to. So the question is, who do you think matches up best against the Lakers?
Like of anyone?
Yeah.
Bucks.
Bucks are a good argument. The Clippers, if they can figure out an answer at center, like probably not them right now, but I could see it, especially because they're going to be a pain in the ass for the Lakers to defend, and making LeBron in particular work on the defensive end could be a good way to attack them.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Lakers to beat the Clippers in the pod that's coming out tonight, but a lot of that was health related. Mm-hmm. That I wasn't sure Kawhi was going to be there and be 100% at the end. I mean, I think at full strength, especially because the Clippers have ways to get better, yeah, I might pick them. All right, what else we got here?
Do you think Toronto has too much ill will towards the Lakers to trade them Lowry, Ibaka, or Gasol? No, I mean, I think that it's not like, I mean, there is all the stuff with the Clippers sending their personnel people to the games and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think that's the reason Kawhi chose them. And Masai, he's been so pragmatic over the course of his career, and going back to what created the term the Nene test was him signing Nene to a contract that was tradable right away. And if they think that the Clippers have the best offer for those guys, I think they'd be willing to make the trade. But it's not like they're going to bend over backwards to facilitate it.
Did you do this one already? How much do you think the return of Kuzma will help the Lakers
I did not do that
elite
one.
Teams? Well, they definitely need someone else who can initiate a play. So, so from that perspective, I think he will help. Makes the defense worse, probably. I mean, he also just makes the AD at center lineup look a little more viable. When you're taking that guy off the floor and putting in Quinn Cook, it doesn't look as good. I mean, to me, the best lineup they could put out there right now would probably be Bradley, Green, KCP, LeBron, and Davis, in theory. But, I think McGee has looked pretty good. Like, I wouldn't mind having him out there, too.
So somebody's asked a couple times, but one time specifically asking it to you, which is why I didn't answer it. Should the Celtics have played hardball with Jaylen Brown? Seems like what Ainge has done in the past. That's true. They have not extended a player in this situation in 10 years since Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, Hollinger wrote about this today, that it kind of became a feedback loop of once one guy extends, then you have to pay the next guy more money because there's going to be restricted free agency money out there, and if there's only a few guys left, that they're clearly going to be targets for teams like the Hawks. I think they went too far, personally.
I agree.
Especially because now you can't trade him during the year. I think they might be a situation that they'd want to trade him.
and
Maybe
Brown,
with the Beal extension, there's a thought that there just wasn't a guy to go after by trading Brown.
Jaylen Brown, he absolutely could have a great season, but the idea that he has been so good so far, or even that positional scarcity is so extreme that he is definitely getting a max offer, is extreme for me. I don't think that that's where this story is right now. And to me, the amount that they sacrificed versus that, the 3+1 offer isn't large enough. The amount you need to have a bigger gap if you're going to make that for somebody who's not like an obvious max player. This isn't Ben Simmons or, And it's kind of an analogous, even though he didn't make the same money, to the Jamal Murray thing, where it's like, yeah, it's entirely possible that he ends up living up to this contract, but I think that it's worth it to just see how it works out. Oh, that's an interesting question. Who has a better record in 21-22, the Pelicans or the Lakers? I mean, a lot of the veterans on both of those teams could be in different places because Redick's contract will already be up.
Yeah.
I think Drew Holiday's would be up too.
I think Pels. But, I mean, Zion could just be injured too. That would be another big bummer. But, yeah, LeBron is just – the Lakers don't have much in the way of getting better.
I'm going to say the Lakers because of Anthony Davis. I mean, he's an incredible talent. I'm confident he's going to re-sign with them.
So, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And if they clear money, they'll spend it. Do you think the Lakers can trade for a guy who can dribble? Yes. I also think they can get somebody on the buyout market who can dribble.
Better for the NBA to go for 1 point for twos and 2 points for threes to speed up the game? Oh, God, no. No, having a 3 be worth double
a 2.
Yeah, and I don't know how that would speed up the game either. It would just mean there'd be a lot more 3-pointers taken.
Unless it's like NBA Street, where there's just you stop counting when you get to 21, in which case it would move more quickly.
What is the path to being above average defensively for a player who's 5'9"? Just watch Fred VanVleet really, really closely.
Yeah, he's listed. He's listed at 6, but that's the model.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's
not.
There is a pretty big difference still between 5'9" and 6 feet.
He's also not 6 feet.
Yeah.
From at least.
I mean, that's what they do the official measurements now in socks supposedly.
Yeah, they do.
What do you think? That's a lie?
I think some of them were. I think they might have been allowed a little bit of creative latitude. Like, I mean, I've stood next to Kemba Walker. I don't think he's 6 feet tall in socks.
Um, should LeBron be giving better effort? I mean, considering that he's got to bring the ball up every single time and make every pick and roll play with this team, it's hard to ask him to do that. And considering his age,
Yeah, I would say some of the more like the kind of quick twitchy stuff, like if a guy cuts in front of him and then he just doesn't move, like some of those could be better. But the big picture, I mean, he's doing a lot. Who do you see starting and closing games for the Clippers when healthy? I think I'm trying to remember who brought this up. The idea that Doc will change around his starting lineups, kind of like Brad Stevens has. I could definitely see that. Their best five, to me, is Beverly, Shamet, George, Kawhi, and JaMychal Green for right now. So I'll go with that.
is LeBron still the best player in the league? No, I think you'd probably have to go with Kawhi at this point, although this year will be very telling on that score.
I mean, and Giannis is in the conversation too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Kawhi pretty much won that crown from him head-to-head
In these
last
finals.
year. So
I agree with that. I will reiterate something I said on Twitter today. These are highlights. Of that if especially if your team wins, but also maybe if you're an impartial person, go to ring night. It's a really awesome experience because it's, especially for the first time like it was for the Raptors today, it's a very cathartic experience, really celebratory, and you only get one shot at it, really. I mean, I went, I'm not a Warriors fan. I didn't grow up a Warriors fan, but I went for 2 of the 3 San Francisco Giants ring nights, a team I did grow up a big fan of and love those too.
question from Date Nunkin to Lanny DeRue. Does Patrick Patterson start the second half?
No.
I think he's going to. They went back to him at the end.
They did.
Man, this halftime seems like really long for some reason.
Yeah, it might be. Who is your pick for most improved player? We'll do that on a subsequent version of the podcast. I'll let you know that's not tonight. Most improved player is one that I always suck at predicting, just because it almost always is a player who, like improves in a way that was hard to foresee.
Yeah, but by its very nature, it is difficult to predict.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's guys who aren't that good, usually.
Yeah, and like the Victor Oladipo one, for example, like that was really hard to see coming.
Yeah.
Unless you're like,
I mean,
really
there are some people who are on this Siakam train at the start of last
Sure.
year. I was not, and I was wrong.
Yeah, and also players who going from the first year to the second year should not win it. So I was not on the De'Aaron Fox train last year.
No, I actually haven't gone through and made my pick for that yet.
Yeah. I made my pick, but I might actually change it because somebody I just thought more highly of it when I worked through it today. How will Paul George fit in with this Clippers team offensively? I think he'll fit in pretty well. I mean, he can work as a complementary offensive player next to a ball-dominant force. We've seen that before. And he can, and he can be a secondary creator for them and maybe a primary one if they ever need it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some fear that I could have just been completely wrong on the Clippers and they're just going to roll. That, I mean, the way Kawhi has looked in this first half is pretty darn dominating. Let's do some shot charts.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Josh Nykoff says, Danny just picked Rodney Hood again. I think I picked Rodney Hood to win MIP twice in a row and was wrong both times. I'm not picking him this year. I'm still bitter.
Okay, so Clippers shooting 10 of 14 at the rim. The big number that stands out, 7 of 12 on twos outside the paint. And then they've shot 6 out of 14 from downtown, 5 out of 14 from downtown for the Lakers.
Well, and here's an interesting thing for LA. They have gotten to the free throw line a bunch, which factors into this. 8 of 10 in the restricted area, but 2 of 8, which is a lot of attempts from floater range. 3 of 7 from mid-range, and then most of their threes have come above the break, where they are 2 of 8, and then they are 3 of 5 from the corners.
Yeah, and a lot of those are AD post ups that kind of went awry. The
Yeah.
2 of 8 from floater range. Um, yeah, interesting. I mean, neither of these teams getting up a ton of threes. The Clippers were not a big 3-point shooting team last year, as we're finally actually going to start the third quarter now.
Yeah.
Lakers 5 of 14. They need to get up more 3-pointers than that. But when you've got the traditional big on the floor, it's tough, a little tougher to do that, or the two traditional bigs. But yeah, I think we've seen the good and the bad of the Lakers in this first half. All right, we're back here. Leonard being forced to his left off the Zubac screen, pulls up, misses. Danny Green pushing it up in transition on the outlet. I mean, it doesn't help that you only have one guy you can really outlet the ball to who's going to do anything with it, and that's LeBron. AD at the elbow. It is Patrick Patterson starting the half. Split cut action to post up James deep. Good help from Zubac up top. McGee flies in. Shamet was in an impossible position. What are they going to call here?
I'm not sure what that was. And that was a really nice job by JaVale McGee seeing his man shade over to LeBron and then just running straight into the space created.
It didn't look like the referee gave the 3-second violation sign.
No. I don't know what that was.
Well, bucket counts.
Yeah. That was JaVale McGee's first shot attempt and first make of the game. Oh, no, that was his second. Sorry, I hadn't updated yet.
Beverly off the Leonard screen, engaging LeBron. Now pick and roll. McGee out on the floor nicely. They get it to Zubac. He's posting up. No, he traveled it. Tried to put it on the floor. No, defensive 3 seconds. Sorry, my bad. They got AD on that coming over to help out on the Zubac roll. He needed to come all the way over and engage with Zubac, but never did.
Kawhi Leonard shooting the technical free throw last year. I'm trying to remember what his free. I was gonna try to do his free throw percentage blind, but
all right, let me guess it. I'm gonna say it was 86% last year. Beverly
85-4.
Beverly with the rarely seen pivot on the out of bounds play. You can't actually take 2 steps because you travel. There's Kawhi going to his left over Green, and I mean that's. Avery Bradley digs down. I mean, that's just such a difficult shot. Like, you can't do anything about that. Here's the backdoor James. They should have ooped it to him instead. He couldn't get a hand on it, and it's going to stay here. But the alley-oop was there. Davis having just a poor passing game so far. Missing guys. That pass was not on target. Loop it into Davis. Going at Patterson. He sees McGee, who's open in the corner. And he almost committed the foul. That was just not a good play design to have JaVale McGee in the corner on the weak side. Deep post up for Zubac against McGee. He got ducked in. Nice job by Zubac running the floor. 9 or 11-point Clipper lead. Green off the screen. Again, he's just not going to do anything in that situation. Here's the lob into Davis. Double teamed. Kawhi coming over. Picks up his dribble, nowhere to go. Bradley is going to have to create something late. Over Shamet, his 3 is not good. Just another play. I mean, we're seeing the Lakers' combination of lack of playmakers and lack of ball movement is not looking good. And then they don't match up in transition, and Patterson just drains a 3. Frank Vogel needs a timeout as the Clippers surge to a 14-point advantage.
Yeah, and transition defense is going to be something key to watch for the Lakers this year. It was a big bellwether for them in that swoon that they had after LeBron came back. Was that they weren't really getting back in transition defense, and it was like, this might be a problem for them. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Clippers now just have been unstoppable up to a 130 offensive rating for them, 66% true shooting. The Lakers do not have an offensive rebound in this game.
Isn't that amazing? So
Yes.
somebody clarified what the ref was doing. There was a wet spot on the floor. That was the symbol for wet spot. I didn't know that.
There may not be an official
Oh,
symbol.
interesting. Yeah, that's true. Which team do you think has the biggest variance in terms of how they will fare this season? That's an interesting question.
I mean, I think it's kind of the young teams, your Dallases, your New Orleans. Bulls I would put up there too. Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Some of these new teams with young players, it's just really difficult to predict it. Warriors actually.
Yeah, I think it
would
might be
up
the
there
Warriors.
too, yeah. Yeah, Steve Kerr saying today he doesn't expect Clay to play, then he walked that back. But
The Clippers should play the PG-13 rehab super conservative. Yes, they should, and they will. I mean, the Clippers know incredibly well, especially considering, like they just saw what happened with Kawhi Leonard, even though he wasn't in their organization, that it's about where you are at the end of the season. And if they can have Paul George right, then it matters a lot more. They're going to get into the playoffs, so they don't have to worry as much about that. It's part of the reason why I've been so aggressive on their under overall for the season. They can be very good in the other games, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. That's an interesting question from BLK Rant 50. Will the Celtics end up regretting Kemba Walker's contract? My answer is no, primarily because if they want to be relevant in these next couple years, that was the way to do it. The opportunity cost was not that high. Look at the other free agent point guards on the market. It's not like there was really a lot there. They could have maybe theoretically coalesced like the Memphis asset and a few other things into it, but I mean, Kemba basically being acquired into cap space was about as well as they could do. And yeah, he might not be great in the fourth year of that contract, but that's okay. I mean, not every contract is to be net positive at every single point. But like, who would they have? Let's say they don't get Kemba. Who would they have gotten as a point guard on next year's cap market? Like maybe you can eventually trade for Drew or somebody like that, but there isn't like a good free agent next year.
yeah, there's a reason he had multiple max offers out there from teams that didn't include the Hornets.
Yeah, it definitely didn't include the Hornets.
I really enjoyed Zubac trying to match Patrick Beverley's intensity. All right, we're back here. McGee at the elbow again, just not necessarily the guy you want playmaking there. The James off the screen, getting past Leonard into the lane. He's got Green open for the three, double pumps it, and finally the Lakers on the board here from downtown. Been a while since they've hit a three, and actual LeBron coming off a screen. When LeBron is attacked, good things have largely happened. LeBron, good job getting out on Shamet that time after the timeout. Zubac looking for Leonard in the post. Bradley trying to be strong. Leonard has the size advantage. McGee comes to help. Leonard fades. Can't get that one. Good help came from McGee that time. James has to pick up his dribble. Good defense from Beverley, hounding him. LeBron wants it back. Trying to just lob it into AD. I mean, these static post-ups, it's not AD's strength. How many times has AD actually, been the roll man this game? Very little, right? I can't remember a single time.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now. AD's the synergy numbers on his post-ups last year.
He wasn't good.
I don't recall him being particularly strong there, no.
Yeah. More free throws coming for AD. I mean, also the fact that he's been doing a lot of his damage at the line makes it seem like he's having a less effective game. I mean, he does have 18 points.
Yeah, so Davis, 0.97 points per possession on post-ups, which is actually not bad, but that's a reminder of how inefficient post-ups are.
Yeah, I mean, when you can compare them to other half-court plays, since most post-ups come in the half-court, it's not as bad of an option. That's actually a higher number than I was expecting. Here's Leonard putting Green in the mix. Finds Beverley, who got out to the corner late. Zubac going to try and post up on McGee here. Nice job by Ivica Zubac JaVale McGee was not happy when Zubac began taking his minutes a year ago, and Zubac has made him pay a couple of times here in this third quarter. Beverly going under on LeBron. I mean, this is just holding the ball. LeBron floats it up. Not there. Again, just a lot of LeBron James directing traffic. Now LeBron way behind the action. Leonard goes right down the lane for the dunk. He cleared out Green, though, and he's going to get called for the foul. Still, that was pretty bad transition defense as LeBron just totally dilly-dallied behind the play. Yeah, and that's the point of education this year. There's no way that one gets called last year. That one looked like a lot more mild than some that we've seen. The push-off.
Yeah.
LeBron at the elbow. Screen for Davis in the corner. Good job by Patterson getting through. Wanted the out-of-bounds call. And again, just totally static AD ISO here. Green with a nice cut, though, to come over the strong side. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 4. Danny Green keeping the Lakers in it. And another just nice cut there by Danny Green. He really flummoxes these defenses a lot of times with these strong side cuts in pick and roll and ISO situations. Beverly totally lost track of him that time.
Danny Green has taken 6 shots in this game. 5 of them were threes. He's made 3 of those 5 for 9 points, and we'll see if he makes his free throw. And that's exactly this kind of a shot distribution you want from Danny Green, to be completely honest.
Oh, yeah.
And that's part of why I got a lot more excited about this Lakers team when they eventually got Danny Green when Kawhi went. You know, obviously it would have been great if they'd gotten Kawhi, but to get Danny Green is such a nice fit for LeBron and AD.
Leonard, wrong foot screen, gets in the lane. Oh, that's got to be a travel. Wow.
That was like a double jump stop.
Actually, I mean, his...
Yeah,
I mean, that did not look to me like too much of a push-off from Leonard. But, I mean, I like generally that they're calling those a little bit more, even if maybe not in that particular situation. LeBron had McGee again, and he says, nah, get out of the way. I'm going to go with Zubac. They're forcing LeBron to his right so he can't get to that step back. Shamet coming over. LeBron crossing over into the lane. Misses the layup. McGee tips twice. Davis tried to slam it. Now 4 Lakers behind the play. Shamet, Leonard, Shamet. Beautiful passing, but Shamet blew the layup. Now LeBron is ahead of the field. He'll go in and dunk it over Lou Williams. Big exchange there as the Lakers pull within 6. LeBron really struggling to finish at the rim tonight, though, Danny.
Yeah, and the Lakers played a little bit of volleyball there, but didn't get a finish on that one until LeBron gets the... we'll call it a detonation on the other end.
Yeah, Ben, if we could get LeBron's shot chart, I'd be interested to see that. I remember him missing a lot of shots at the rim.
What does Steph Curry need to do to be a Hall of Famer? Retire tomorrow.
But if he retired today, he won't have done enough.
Yeah. Yeah. That said, you won't hear me talk too much about who is and is not a basketball Hall of Famer because with the current structure of the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, not an NBA Hall of Fame, I just kind of find it stupid.
Yeah, so
I wish there was a better one.
Darius Soriano, good point on Twitter that the Clippers are switching the AD LeBron pick and roll, and that was a fear that when you're playing a traditional center there, that you can just have, I mean, is there really much difference between Leonard defending James or defending AD in the post, or JaMychal Green or Patrick Patterson defending LeBron out on the floor? So their number one staple play, by playing LeBron at the 3 and AD at the 4, you're really taking that away against a lot of teams. The Clippers have enough defensive versatility in particular.
Oh, that's a great reply from Glenn Simonson. Curry would be a Hall of Famer if he became a college coach.
That's great.
Is using LeBron at point in the regular season too much of a load? Yeah, I think that it is now. They can balance that a little bit by sitting him for full games. I think that would definitely help. So I've heard players talk before about that idea that just knowing you're not playing can be better for you than just playing fewer minutes per game. But yeah, it's a lot. I mean, the idea that basically nobody else on the team can bring the ball up the floor is a problem.
Yeah, LeBron, by the way, 3 of 8 in the paint, 2 of 5 at the rim tonight.
Mm.
Thoughts on KCP today and so far this preseason? I know it's been early, but he just looks undersized and ineffective. I'd like to see, especially on this team, that him used a little bit more the way he was in Detroit, where he actually showed some pick and roll ability, which they desperately needed. A lot of people are going to look undersized against Kawhi Leonard. Like, that is not his skill set. His skill set would be more guarding a Lou Williams type, chasing guys over screens. He can switch some, but it's just, Kawhi Leonard has brutalized guys a lot bigger and stronger than him. Like that, asking him to stop Kawhi, yeah, he's going to look undersized in that matchup for sure. How worried am I about LeBron's health? Was last year a fluke or his age catching up? I think I'm more worried about just overall performance decline than necessarily his another injury. All right, we're back here.
That was a little bit abrupt.
Dribble pitch to Kawhi off the screen into 4 guys. Lou Williams into the lane, floats, scores. Lou Williams, a deadly floater. No one was able to rotate back out to him after a nice pass from Kawhi to set him up. Here's Green pitching it back to LeBron. I mean, just no alacrity to the Lakers' actions whatsoever. Here's LeBron. They'll switch this. Patterson is on him. LeBron feeling it. Wants to step back to his left in this situation. Patterson won't let him do it. And it looks like we're going to get a kick ball with 0.6 on the shot clock. Or is this just out of bounds?
And something that should be concerning for the Lakers, it's been even so far in this third quarter. And remember, that's when they got the advantage against the Clippers. They had that big early push, and then the Clippers beat them pretty soundly in the rest of the half. Now they're going to get the non-LeBron, the non-AD minutes moving forward.
Yeah, 0.6 is the number here, and Patterson knocks it away, and this should be a shot clock violation. And it is. Yeah, good point in the comments. We hadn't thought about it. No Alex Caruso yet. I mean, I think he's...
Well, no, remember, he got hurt at the end of the...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's hurt. He is.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He was hurt in like the second minute of that
game. No, I think he actually would... I mean, just one more guy who can dribble the ball would be making a difference here.
Absolutely. And Caruso can be that guy.
Danny Green forcing Lou to his right. He gets back to his left anyway. Pulls up mid-range. Oh, yes. Lou Williams making a difference for the Clippers. Right back to a 10-point advantage after that brief Laker push. Now they're going after the small guy Shamet. No advantage gained. Another screen roll. LeBron in the lane. Kicks it out off the hands of Davis. And really, LeBron did not draw enough help to pass it out to Davis. Patterson was right there.
And also something Patterson did this Marc Gasol in the first game of just knock the ball and it might go off of somebody else. Just disrupt the action.
Here's Williams. Engages McGee. Wants it back. Just takes the 3 over him. Misses that. AD rebound went over his head. Oh, Patterson went in for the dunk. And Danny Green commits the foul. Yeah, Danny, not quite the shot blocker he once used to be. Those used to be block shots a while ago. You remember, of course, it was Danny Green who caused the injury to Klay Thompson. I mean, not that it was a dirty play, but contesting Klay's fast break dunk that caused the torn ACL.
And Patrick Patterson, that was his first free throw attempt, I believe, of this game. 14 minutes, 3 points, 1 for 2 from the field, both of which were 3-pointers, 2 rebounds. And we'll see what his role is. I mean, Doc Rivers is going to have some genuine experimentation to do. Also, the Lakers having this big lineup makes it easier, more palatable to play Patrick Patterson as a starter.
They screen for AD and then screen for LeBron. Again, the Lakers' execution just is not tight. And LeBron, like, they're not actually creating the advantage. They're not causing help off these 3-point shooters. And LeBron is trying to find them, but they're just not open. He's going to need to actually do more, either finding guys under the rim or scoring himself. He has not been the force as a scorer that he needs to be for this Lakers team to be successful. Now he takes the 3 off screen roll. That's off. Patterson rebounds. Shamet looking to push it. Shamet was actually played some point guard in college. Here's a pick and pop by Patterson in transition. That's off. Patterson getting more run here to start this quarter. Green swings it to LeBron. Avery Bradley looks off AD in the post. Lou Williams leaves him. And Bradley, I thought he got fouled by Williams. He didn't. Here's Shamet in. He got rejected by LeBron. That looked close to a goaltend, but LeBron still can chase him down. Harrell into James.
That's going to be a charge.
Yes, it is. You could see the referee loading up for the dramatic charge call the other way. But that was one where James was sizing him up the whole way. Pretty clear charge call.
I think Danny Crawford is one of the only refs that enjoys the block call as much as the charge call. I remember he used to do some of those with gusto.
Yeah, he got it right at the exact moment. Yep, and LeBron did in fact get there. Harrell missed a wide open Shamet on the right wing.
And a nice 2-effort defensive play for LeBron. I'm sure the stands will be using that to show that that'll be a great defender all year.
AD. Nice slip to the baseline on the drop step, and he just rose up over Patterson, who doesn't have the athleticism to challenge him on that move.
And neither Davis nor LeBron has sat so far in this quarter.
Dwight Howard is in. And they just abuse him in pick and roll. The Lou Trez gets him again. Lou just waiting until the exact moment when Howard came over to drop the dime. And now Patterson is going to get called for a foul. A little too handsy with AD out in the perimeter as he was trying to get to a spot. But I've been just impressed overall with the defensive effort of the Clippers. We've criticized the Lakers for not being quite as smooth in their offensive execution. They're not really an execution team, but the Clippers are making every catch, every dribble difficult here. Harrell switching on to LeBron. LeBron not going at him. KCP. Now LeBron into the post to AD. Pulls back for the jumper. Airball. Green slips under for the layup.
Airball's
Lou
always
Williams
the
totally
offense.
missed the box out.
Great hustle by Danny Green there.
KCP switching on to Lou. Lou with a beautiful wraparound pass to Harrell. Help comes from AD. 3 from Shamet. Yeah.
How many Clippers turned before that ball even went in? I think it was at least 2, might have been 3.
And Harrell learned his lesson that time. Went into the lane, didn't commit the charge, and said the pass right out behind him, which is a difficult pass. Here's AD off the Howard screen for 3. Missed that, but it's going to stay here as Howard fought for the offensive rebound.
Yeah, and the Lakers only have 3 credited offensive rebound, but that one is a team offensive rebound.
Well, ESPN just tweeted something about vintage LeBron. That means his career is over.
Thank you to Dumbhandle for subscribing with Twitch Prime. For those of you who have Amazon Prime, you can connect those 2 accounts, and then you get a free subscription. If you use it on us, helps us out. Nice tip dunk for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he helped out his teammate. But Lakers have no chance of stopping this Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell pick and roll, and they haven't taken advantage of them on the other end. Here's a 3 from Harkless. That's off. KCP comes to it. Harkless tried to recover. Now it's Quinn Cook. And again, this Lakers team has nothing in transition. Beautiful cut from Danny Green. Danny Green is keeping the Lakers in it. Has a few words to say to the Clippers bench. Danny with just that really smart veteran cut to the near side. The Danny Green cut is named for him for a reason. Howard out on the floor, gets a hand on it. Swing it here to Patterson. AD tries to take the charge, and we're going to get a blocking fall. And you're Anthony Davis, man. It's Patrick Patterson. Just stop him. You don't have to take some ridiculous charge attempt. He didn't get there.
And you could move your feet to stick with Patrick Patterson, or you could just get a little bit behind him and still affect / block.
I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis is capable of containing him without having to fall down and take a charge. Now they get Williams in the corner. Great job by Luke getting it out. Shamet will take a deep 3. Not there, though. Good close late by the Lakers. KCP bringing it up as the Lakers' second best ball handler. Cook, as LeBron is out of the game, they're going into the post again to AD against Harkless. Size advantage. AD attacks. Baseline, he got pushed by Harkless.
And this is a big stretch to close the third that the Lakers have been able to get some baskets without LeBron on the floor. They were really troublesome in the second quarter in those minutes. Or was that the first? Wherever it was.
Yeah, Kawhi, he's probably going to come back in about a minute here. But he hasn't done much this quarter, but he hasn't played much. He's only on 21 minutes right now. Green off the screen from Howard. Danny Green off the dribble for 3.
15 points in the third quarter for Danny Green.
Yeah, and despite the Lakers' foibles, we're down to a 4-point game here with Danny Green shooting the lights out. He's been worth every penny of that $15 million in this game. Here's Howard sticking with Lou Williams. They got to get it back to Lou here. Howard denying him nicely. Lou draws the foul. Man, he is just a performance artist, Danny.
And getting that foul with 1:56 remaining in the quarter, now any foul, the Clippers are shooting free throws.
Yeah, he's just an absolute artist. Like, Howard, pretty minimal contact, but Lou is just so thin. Snaps that head back, gets the call. Clippers somehow still not in the bonus. JaMychal Green, is this his first appearance? I think it is.
Of the second half?
Yeah, I mean, they played Patterson. Patterson just played the whole half until just now. I think they liked what he was doing defensively, I guess. Leonard is back as predicted. He beats AD, can't get the three-pointer. KCP looking to push again. The Clippers get back, number one, but the Lakers have nobody to push the ball. Davis against Harrell. Takes his time and faces up. Into the lane, spins on him. Nice floater. He wanted the foul call, said he got hit in the face. AD's starting to cook a little bit here with 4 shooters around him in this group. Actually, no, that's not true. He has Howard out there.
Howard thinks he's a shooter.
Harrell swings it. Oh, AD got totally lost on JaMychal Green, but the Clippers have not been able to make him pay from 3. Quinn Cook, again, shaky ball handling, but now he's got Lou Williams on him. Pick and roll coming. No, AD just wants the ball here, I think. Cook into the lane, floats over Harrell, powered with the jam.
And again, the benefit of a driver sometimes is that you draw the help, and when you draw the help, that opens up an offensive rebound.
Here's Williams attacking, did not get the call that time. Again, they have no one to outlet the ball to. KCP not looking to attack. Green, he's feeling it. Woo! Danny Green, 3-point Lakers lead. What a run by LA. Danny Green and AD.
This is a 15-0 run since LeBron checked out.
Wow. Williams to his right. Finds Harrell. Howard is there in a brick wall. AD off of Green. Green finally hits a 3 to stanch the bleeding. I thought AD maybe overhelped a little bit that time. Lakers are going to run the time down here. Tied at 85. This is the situation where it's kind of hard to go to AD when you want to run the time down. But you can go with about 7 seconds here. Cook gets it to AD. 4 on the clock. Pulls back. Gets his man in the air. Way off.
LeBron James checked out of this game with, I just lost the spot, 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. The Clippers were up 82-70, and the Lakers had been awful in those minutes in the first half. Then they go on this 15-0 run, which became 15-3, and now, I mean, this is a game. I would still have the Clippers as the favorite because they're going to be more non-LeBron minutes. Granted, I got that completely wrong in overtime in the first game, so take that for what you will. But this is going to be interesting.
Catch you up on the shot charts here now. 63% at the rim, 12 out of 19 for the Clippers. Lakers getting more done at the basket. Actually, only 3 out of 7. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They were 5 out of 7 in that quarter. And the mid-rangers haven't gone down, 5 out of 14. Clippers 10 out of 17 on those twos outside the restricted area. That really has been the biggest difference in the game so far, as that mid-range shooting from the Clippers, led, of course, by the brilliant Kawhi Leonard.
Anthony Davis is now the leading scorer in the entire game. 25 points on 8 of 19 from the field, 9 of 14 from the free throw line. Also 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Leader for the Clippers, still Kawhi Leonard. 23 points, 9 of 15 from the field. Only 3 3-point attempts, made 1 of those. 4 of 5 from the line, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers. I think this is a fair point from Kevin Chu. The Clippers just missed 3 straight clean looks from 3. Feels like they're just getting unlucky. Yeah, I think there's a fair amount of that so far.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And they are 9 of 23 overall from downtown, though. So, I mean, you and the Lakers are 10 of 22. Now, I think it's more the Lakers getting lucky with some of these Danny Green threes, who now has 21 points. But Yeah, not a ton of assists for the Lakers. 16 assists on 30 made field goals. Clippers, not a ton of assists either. 18 assists on 33 made field goals. Again, these two teams do not play the most brilliant ball-moving basketball necessarily, but you don't necessarily need that to be effective when you have the level of one-on-one scores that these teams do.
Have you guys been using 538's Raptor at all? I really like the blend of different things. I have not used it much yet. I'm going to need to spend some quality time with it to really see how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think, I listened to Nate Silver on Ben Taylor's pod talking about it. It sounds like they're still trying to refine it. In theory, it has the most inputs of any one number metric that I am aware of. So if they are doing it right, it should work. And it seems like they've refined some of the issues with their Draymond system, which one of which was that it was just giving too much credit for missed three-pointers, and that doesn't have, players don't affect their opposition's or the guy that they're guarding's three-point percentage as much, whereas two-point percentage, they do affect it a lot more. So they made that change. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. That was probably the biggest criticism that I had. All right, we're going to be back here.
And the Lakers have a 17% offensive rebound rate. That sounds low, but remember, it was 0 for the first half, or almost the whole first half.
Jared Dudley getting a little time here. LeBron is back. They look to bring him into the post. We haven't seen much LeBron posting up here. Trying to get Howard in the lane. The pass comes early, but Leonard jumped the passing lane. Nice job there. Again, James has had some foibles with his passing as well. Leonard behind the back, not the most natural move for him. Green, Harkless, a lot of bodies underneath. They get it out to Lou Williams, and his jumper goes. Good defensive possession for the Lakers, undone by a nice shot from Williams. 2-point Clippers lead. LeBron off the pick and roll. They go under, going to his right, not as dangerous that way. Oh, what a play by LeBron. Sets up Quinn Cook for a three. Howard on the offensive glass. And no, he was not fouled.
That was a block by Harkless.
Howard finding Dudley on the back door. Not a threat to finish that. James into the lane. Now they got Cook. He's got to make this three, but doesn't. Couple of wide open looks for Quinn Cook. Set up by LeBron. We're wanting. Here's Leonard on the spin. Into Dudley. Fouled by Dudley. He had his arm down at the point where he made contact. That's why the foul was called.
And it'll be something to track in this fourth quarter. Free throw attempts. Right now it's 21-15 in favor of the Lakers. And while we've mentioned AD's foibles early in the game, he missed 4 free throws in the first quarter. The Clippers are 10 of 15 from the line overall before these 2 from Kawhi. The noted 85% free throw shoot.
Second free throw coming for Leonard. James, they tried to get the switch, couldn't get it. Now he goes at Harkless, baseline. Oh, beautiful layoff for Howard, but he was stopped from behind by Leonard in a brilliant play. Here's Williams in transition. Lakers are back. 3 from JaMychal Green over Dudley. Air ball. Like the aggressiveness from Green, but was not close on that shot. Here's LeBron in transition. He's got Harrell. They're switching everything, and Harkless is going to get called for holding Howard as he tried to move towards the basket. Yeah, that looked like it might have been a foul there. Steve Ballmer, pretty enjoyable for him, and it's personal for him.
I believe the word you're looking for is animated.
Yes. James, again, has been pretty well shut down in this game. Gets it back. Wants to go at Harrell. Creates the mid-ranger. That's off. Rebound. Howard keeps it alive, but clips control. Here's Leonard against KCP. Forced towards the baseline. Fakes the pass, MJ style. Back to goal as Dudley comes over on the strong side. Steps in between. Sets up Harkless. Wide open in the corner. Yes!
Portland fans probably saying, where the hell was this?
Yeah, Mo Harkless has hit a couple.
Mo
downtown.
Harkless, no hesitation, corner threes, 2 of 3 in the game.
And continuing the trend that you noted, Lakers with LeBron on the floor being outscored and were great when he was off the floor.
So weird. What are each of your thoughts on Howard so far? It looks like he's been playing his role and being effective given his minimum contract. I think his offensive limitations have been very prevalent. Now, he's not going to get the ball knocked out of his hands every time like has happened on the last few possessions. But for example, like, do I think Dwight Howard is necessarily going to be a better player than Christian Wood this year? I'm not so sure. But he's okay.
Someone asked us earlier, who is the most surprising cut? If you ask me about the start, like from the start of training camp to the end, Alfonso McKinney would probably be on there. Joe Johnson might be another one just because it didn't seem like they brought him in to cut him and guaranteed him $220,000.
Christian Wood, baby.
Yeah, but by the end, I think both of those you saw were pretty clear.
Yeah, there wasn't really a Shaq Harrison this year.
Yeah. Jamorio Jones, but it would have been nice maybe for the Wiz to keep them. I can't say I was super locked in on their preseason games, to be honest, so not sure whether that was deserved.
Yeah, considering I was shocked that Isaac Bonga is starting for them on Thursday. I guess that means I wasn't super engaged. From BLK Ram 50, what has Jerome Robinson done in his career so far? I'm not a huge fan of his. I mean, he can. The idea is that he could shoot and maybe do a little something with the ball in his hands. I thought he was too small and didn't think that his jump shot was undeniable. He has had a few little moments, and there is a place for guys who can shoot and not do a whole lot else on this iteration of the Clippers, but I just don't think he's done it. Now, I would have to think about the asset play. I don't need to look at what his option numbers are, because the Clippers don't have as much of an opportunity cost if Ballmer's willing to pay the luxury tax, because they're not going to have cap space to work with as far as I can think of.
I'm still thinking of the most surprising cuts question. I don't think there's really anyone else that comes to mind.
No, I didn't have anybody really shocking either.
Miles Plumlee.
I guess. I mean, more because of his value as salary filler rather than him actually being.
I mean, it's rare that you're going to see a guy get cut who makes guaranteed $12 million.
Have we done a breakout players pod yet? No, we haven't. We'll talk about most improved and all that kind of stuff. But if you wanted something on that, I did a 2-podcast series with Ben Taylor on that earlier.
That was like a tour de force. Like you did. I mean, I think between breakout and regression players, you guys did like probably 4 hours together. All right, we're back.
And we did it in 2 shots. All the breakout was in one recording.
Oh, nice job by the Clippers pre-switching to keep Lou Williams out of the action. So then they bring in Troy Daniels instead. Again, they avoid the switch, though. LeBron backing down. He's got to get more aggressive into the lane. Has to give it up. No advantage gain. KCP, tough 3. Not there.
Nice
again, the lack,
rebound.
And again, you're seeing, Danny, the lack of spacing where LeBron gets into the lane and he doesn't have the layup attempt. And he's not able to get these guys open threes either.
Oh, look at Lou Williams put Troy Daniels on skates, but he doesn't make the shot.
Yeah, Troy Daniels cannot guard Lou Williams.
He cannot.
Here's LeBron going at Harkless into the lane. Finally gets a layup to go. That time they had just a little bit of transition. He ran the pick and roll with Howard. Beautiful behind the back on Harkless. AD set to come back here. 5-point game. Lou Williams against KCP. Now they're in the corner. Swing it back. Leonard over James. His 3 way off.
And depending on when AD checks in, that could be like 36, 37 minutes for him in this game.
Oh, nice pass from LeBron. Howard, though, he's just a limited finisher at this point in time. Dudley wide open off good ball movement. Yes. Quick 5-0 burst from the Lakers to get back into contact now. And we're going to see a timeout, which I don't really care for because now AD's going to come back in.
Yeah.
I think you do want to take a look at who is at the table when you call a timeout sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not like the Clippers are, from what I could tell, are doing anything like fundamentally wrong that you need to correct with a coaching adjustment. Apparently on the YouTube channel, there's a bunch of discussion. Somebody said that the Lakers should trade LeBron. A, no, they shouldn't. I mean, he's the creator on this team. And B, remember the structure of basketball is like if you want to use, because of my background, repeated game theory as a part of this, you don't trade a high-profile player who signs with your team for parts, because then other elite players will not sign with your team. And when the Lakers are in this situation,
and AD will be out too.
Yeah, I mean, Clutch Sports client, and I mean, the Lakers should care about that more than anybody because they are a major market team and that has that aura. And so, yeah, you can't burn that bridge. Even if somebody offered you something stupid for LeBron, you can't do it.
Steve Ballmer apparently has ripped a hole in the elbow of his shirt during the game. Hey, I mean, if I were him, I'd be pretty anti-Lakers myself, I mean, especially with this whole arena dispute.
From Nerf Gun Ninja, Danny, do you have a background in game theory? I do. I actually, years and years ago, I was offered to do a doctorate at UCLA in applied game theory and turned it down to go to law school. This is a good question. When do teams have to pay the luxury tax? Is there a cutoff date to trim your team's salary buyers and ongoing payment? This is a great clarifying question. The luxury tax is calculated on your team's salary at the end of the regular season. So you can, a lot of people use the deadline as a proxy.
I mean, even then I wouldn't say that it's probably at the end of the whole season because you can get bonuses for playoff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like Clint Capella, that comes to mind.
That's a good point.
He has a bonus for making the West Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent point. But so the idea there, you don't have to do it at the beginning of the season. You don't pay if you get below it by $1 at the end of the year, you're clean. It doesn't matter when it happens, and there are some famous examples of that, like guys getting claimed off waivers to get a team below the tax, all that kind of stuff. So you can do it a lot later in the process, and that gets into something that I lamented that Cleveland didn't do, which is that they could have used the J.R. Smith contract to take on money to get an asset and then use something else to deduct the tax. Now, maybe that's too big a risk for Dan Gilbert. Maybe it's being too cute by half. Those things are definitely possible, but I would have, from an intellectual perspective, I would have enjoyed it.
I think it's being too cute by 75%.
Fine.
Question 8. Favorite Canadian province you saw this summer? For those who don't know, I took a 12,000-mile road trip this summer with my wife. I mean, got to be British Columbia. Vancouver is unbelievable. Scenery is unbelievable. We'll talk more about that in a second. Here's Lou off the screen, gets past KCP. Mid-ranger going to his right where he's not as effective, and Lakers can tie it here. They get Daniels the ball up top. Daniels, KCP, LeBron, AD, and then Daniels just throws it away. Again, just the total lack of playmaking. Harrell into LeBron and floats it up and scores. And how many times have we seen these Lakers support players not even be able to enter the ball to start a play? Here's LeBron getting past Harkless, right through, blows the layup.
God,
AD keeping it alive, but Harrell recovers.
LeBron was so strong to get through that, but then couldn't finish.
Yeah, here's I thought he was going to make that layup easy.
So did I.
Williams, pick and roll Harrell. Green standing in a weird spot and misses the mid-ranger. James looking to attack Harrell again. Spins into the lane. Stripped. LeBron just has not been able to get it done on these drives into the lane. They're going with AD at center now. Got some shooting around him. This should be the time that LeBron James could be unstoppable. Especially when you've got Lou and Trez on the floor for the Clippers. They should be able to really eat offensively here. Dudley trying to pressure up on Green. Williams, they double team. Here's Green. Three-pointer is open. Pick and pop. Yes. And the miscommunication between Dudley and KCP. Dudley stayed out there maybe a little bit too long. They should have either switched it or not. They both just kind of stood there, didn't hard double team. That left JaMychal Green open, and his shooting has been a positive sign for the Clippers this year if he can keep this up.
I will mention patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. It's a great way to support this endeavor. We are not ad-supported at the moment. Subscriber-only podcast. We will release one this week. Salary cap sheets, whatever else we can think of. A lot of times it can be text versions of summaries and pieces. So that could be, or summaries of podcasts. Sorry, I'm in writing mode right now. So like, let's say we did like the rookie extensions or the extensions podcast. We did a written up summary of that. Those sorts of things. Which some people really like. That's why we give it to our Patreon subscribers.
I can't understand how they haven't used AD in the pick and roll. Well, they have, but they've just been switching it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, and we talked about this, I think it was at halftime, about how it's easier to do that with LeBron at the 3 and AD at the 4. Now, in theory, it's harder. They are still switching it. They're putting Harrell on LeBron, and Harrell is just like LeBron's just got to beat him. Like at that point, if you're putting a limited switch defender on LeBron, he's got to just score, and he hasn't been able to make him pay yet. Here's one for you. What's the... Oh, here, actually, I think we're going to be back in a second.
What was it? What's the hardest thing about writing daily?
Oh, did you say that already?
No, I'm going to answer now. I actually don't have one because I get to cover the entire league. There's almost always something to write about somewhere. I also don't write rigidly daily. It's more like, I don't know, like 3 to 4 times a week. But I love it. I mean, I'm working on 30 pieces right now.
We're back here. Green off the screen in the lane. This is the play they ran. Danny Green curling into the lane. Is LeBron out right now? Yeah, they're getting him another break. I think that might be wise with the way he struggled in the last few minutes.
Except, I mean, granted, they did well without him in the third quarter, but if this becomes an 11 or 12-point game, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, and the Clippers have been doing this without a ton of Kawhi minutes. AD, another missed mid-ranger. Nice rebound from Beverly. Throws a unwarranted elbow at Danny Green. Harrell looking for Patrick Beverly coming off the screen. Cook's way behind him. Now they swing it to Lou Williams. Pick and roll, Harrell. Lou, nice pass. Perfect, but the strip from Danny Green. Harrell right back up with it, though. Clips up to a 9-point advantage. They're putting the Lakers into difficulty right now. Here's Green. Again, they have no one to run a pick and roll really here. It's with AD. AD a little bit late cutting to the basket. Just a lot of handoffs going nowhere for the Lakers. Bradley, Cook, and what are they going to call here? Looks like a defensive 3 seconds. No, offensive 3 seconds. Yeah, Davis was just standing in the lane forever. Good call.
And that was a really nice double effort by Danny Green there. Gets the strip, and he did a good job contesting Harrell. He just couldn't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, how quickly Harrell picks this up from the ground and goes right up with it. Like, the quick twitch there is remarkable. Here's Beverly trying to beat Cook. Now turns it back to Williams. Williams against Cook. Along the baseline. Oh, sneaky move. And now an 11-point game. Lakers may be about done here now. 9-0 run after the Lakers had again pulled within 2. Dudley to Cook. Again, Clippers doing this without Kawhi on the floor. Mid-ranger from Cook is there.
And that's about as good as they can do in this configuration.
Yeah, seems like it. Harold posting up on Dudley, who has the girth, and they're going to get the blocking foul on Dudley. He can't believe it, but quite a bit of a flop there from Jared Dudley. First time we've seen them go to Harrell in the post. I'm not really sure how that was a foul on Dudley.
I don't think that was a foul on either guy.
Yeah, probably just a no call to me. But if anything, I mean, I kind of like it because it's a flop. And he deserves it. So Leonard's going to return. James is back also. Let's see if he can help.
So this is probably what, about 11 possessions for the Lakers?
Yeah, usually about 2 possessions per minute. So tough to make up 11 points in 11 possessions.
Especially when the defense hasn't been that good.
Well, and Harold's got a chance for a free throw here to make it 12.
even before this free throw, Clippers have a 121 offensive rating in this game.
Missed free throw. Let's see if James can author another push. It's Leonard guarding him now. Alley-oop to Davis. Nice play by Beverly to come over. The pass again wasn't quite high enough.
And
Yeah, I mean,
Patrick Beverly, big Nearson, running into AD.
Yeah, the Lakers have certainly evinced some structural flaws tonight, but if LeBron is going to be at a new phase of his career, and again, he just can't get open, Leonard beats him to the spot, fakes it. Harrell, is going to go off his knee, though. LeBron with the beautiful transition defense.
The tribute to Danny Green.
But yeah, if LeBron, I mean, he did take a step back last year. You wondered whether that was because of the spacing. He made up for some of that by shooting the jump shot a little better than he had. Here's the switch. LeBron again, not looking to attack Harrell. Into the post. AD. Double team comes from Shamet. Out to Bradley. His three. They need it. Not there.
Oh, what a steal by Danny Green.
Man,
Still
Danny Green just took it right out of the hands of Harrell, who just telegraphed his pass right to Kawhi. 9-point game. And looks like a timeout from Doc Rivers.
I think it was just that turnover from Harrell. The autopilot turnover.
Will the Lakers overreact to a bad start and overpay for Andre Iguodala? Unfortunately, they really just don't have the matching salary, and they don't have anything to overpay with.
No, they'll overpay with the minimum if he's willing to sign for it. No, the Lakers. That's one of the big differences. This comes up in the prediction pod that will be released tonight. Between the Lakers and the Clippers is they just don't really have that much of a capacity to overhaul or change their team this season. It's just not really the way with who they signed and everything else. It's just very unlikely.
If LeBron is not the same LeBron, what's the Lakers' ceiling? Second round exit, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe even first round exit. Have you guys ever thought of doing a top 100 list? No, top 10 is hard enough. But I mean, we basically do that with our position rankings.
Yeah, if you wanted to kind of parse it.
But even that gets so difficult.
Yeah,
I mean,
I once for Real GM, I think I did a top 50 like value, more in this line of Simmons trade value type of columns, and that was just brutal to do. Because then, I mean, and it drove me crazy, and all it is just people criticizing you. So I don't think I'll do that again.
I don't mind people criticizing.
No, I don't either. But it's like you don't. It never generates the discussion you want. Like maybe it could in certain circumstances. It's more just like people nitpicking and finding arguments.
I don't know. It generated a meme from some Sun's Reddit about me spending the rest of my life in prison. So there's that.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that was a good outcome from it.
Absolutely. So now, probably a 9 possession more for the Lakers, and they're down by 9 points, so it keeps up kind of the 11 of 11 from before. So they're gonna, need to get some stops, need to get some scores, and also, just the Clippers when the Lakers went on that run at the end of the third, a lot of it was the Clippers missing open shots. You can't expect that to continue. Maybe small sample size variance, all that kind of stuff, but this is gonna be hard for them. I don't know what they're reviewing. We will find out eventually.
Our buddy David Locke killing AD here.
I'll talk about this on the podcast, but it's not wise to make big judgments or statements when a team faces an opponent that is far better than the average opponent they're going to face in the NBA season.
Yeah. I mean, they look pretty goddamn good against the Warriors, right? Like, now, I mean, AD, Locke acknowledges that it's game one. And also, he says he's played for one top 10 offense and one top 10 defense. A lot of those teams really sucked when he was off the floor. So I mean,
Right, and a
of
lot
all
of those
their
teams were
problems,
poorly constructed.
well, of all their problems here, I would put it much more on LeBron than AD among the stars, and obviously the lack of ball handling. And I mean, they've got 3 pretty big injuries here. I mean, I hate to say Rondo, but I mean, they need him when LeBron is off the floor, or they need Caruso, and Kuzma's scoring is something that they need as well. Now, I don't know if the coaching has looked amazing. I don't know if the 2 big things is looking amazing. But this is a pretty good Clippers team without Paul George. Keep in mind, but so Lou Williams is off the floor now as they go with more of a defensive look. Leonard at AD. Oh, he got completely
Beautiful
swatted.
possession by AD.
2-handed block right back in his face. I actually like AD one-on-one against Kawhi as long as a screen isn't involved. Here's Green down the lane. Oh, the beautiful Statue of Liberty finish from Danny Green, and he's enjoying himself. They're not out yet with an 8-point advantage. AD again matching up against Kawhi. They've got LeBron on Harrell here, so they can switch a Kawhi pick and roll. Kawhi goes down, and that seemed like very limited contact to me. Yeah, I guess LeBron kind of put his arm on him a little bit, but Kawhi just slipped down. Yeah, actually, AD got away with one on that nasty block before the play took place, or the block took place. He got him all over the arm. Williams is back for the offensive possession. Leonard going at James to his right. Gets him in the air. Fade away. Unstoppable. AD came over. LeBron went for the block, and he just scored over both of them anyway. Here's LeBron not taking the three-pointer. Green in the corner is closed down by Harkless. Off the dribble. Green. It drops.
Green.
What a shot. But it's taken just an insane Danny Green performance to even get them within 7. He's got 28 points. They switch again. Oh, miscommunication. They try to fall down underneath, and they're going to get a blocking foul on KCP. But LeBron switched out properly. AD did not switch. That left Harrell wide open going to the basket, and he's going to go to the foul line. Can't afford that kind of a miscommunication in a 7-point game here. I'm sorry. I just channeled a football announcer. I apologize. You just can't afford a false start in that situation. Thanks. It's really useful. Harrell hitting the first free throw.
I will let you know that our tentative plan right now is actually to do a Halloween NBA cast next on the Thursday, the early game, Miami at Atlanta. Subject to change, but I think that's going to be what we do.
Yeah, it probably will be. We got some Warriors home games next week, and my sister-in-law is in town, so I got to hang out with her and my lovely wife after that cast. But starting at 4 Eastern, so you Eastern time zone people, be awesome to get a look at the Hawks before they are well below 500 and no one cares. Oh, terrible. You can't give up an offensive rebound in that situation. Nice post up from Harrell. He's going to go to the foul line. 10-point game. He's got a chance to make it 11.
Do you want to call it?
You look over me with that.
I didn't do the hand signal, but yeah.
That look in your eyes that says we could be done here. It's opening day. We can stick around for a little bit, take a few more questions. Yeah, and you thought that maybe Harrell and Lou Williams could be vulnerable defensively. That has not been the case at all. The Lakers really have not been able to do anything against those guys. AD looking to screen for Bradley off the DHO. Bradley's three-pointer as AD goes down, flopped, but a 3 from Bradley. 8-point game. They're going to double-team Leonard. The Claw is not giving it up. Right down the lane. Blocking foul on James. No!
Calling a charge.
Offensive foul. Wow, that one looked like he really eluded him. Pretty minimal contact with the left shoulder of LeBron that time. I mean, he did the little, Duke scoot underneath him, but It was actually, from that baseline view, it looked like a better call than it did live. They tried to run the same play again for Bradley. Didn't work. LeBron at the elbow. Pick and roll AD. They switch it. No advantage gained. No post up there either, and they steal it.
Nice job, Harkless.
Yeah, but you know who really made the play, Danny, was Beverly on the weak side, coming off that shooter in the corner to take away the passing angle. Leonard going at KCP, gets to his right hand, and score. No, it's going to be a foul on KCP, and if he makes these 2 free throws, I think we can call it quits here.
We'll see if there are any other pressing questions.
Yeah, LeBron 7-19, 8 assists, 5 turnovers, 18 points. Only 4 free throw attempts, which is also, he's got to be better than that from the foul line.
Who is the last NBA big who did not need a competent ball handler to set them up? Nikola Jokic. Right now.
Yeah. I was hoping Karl Anthony Towns could get into that category this year. I'm interested to see what the Wolves offense looks like in the regular season. They did not really do much in the preseason, with some of the talk that there was going to be more of Karl Towns kind of in that Jokic role. Here's James. Corner, Daniels, his 3, not there. LeBron finally setting up an open 3, but it didn't go. So, all right, you want to call it quits here? Let's record Dunked On.
Yeah, patreon.com/Duncan LaRue. Great way to support this. As we said, we'll be back, as of right now, Halloween afternoon here, night Eastern time, for Hawks Heat. I know what teams are playing. And Dunked On tonight, Dunked On throughout the rest of the week, and the Patreon podcast later this week as well.
Don't forget Hollinger and Duncan as well. If you haven't listened to the first episode, that's once a week, dropping usually on Sunday nights. Talk to y'all later.